They say looks can be deceiving. At first glance, I thought you were not much to look at. All icing, no cake, all steam, not much brew. But the night air sings of fulfilling ancient dreams. The moon whispers of tenderness for the smallest of them, for the unheard, the unseen. And as the sun breaks through our heroes' memories, your blinding smile hits my heart, like the warrior's blade, like 𝗍𝗆𝗄𝗃 spear. But the far seas beckon you. The memories on these walls try to soothe the pain of parting. I seek for your warmth, but only these sheets comfort me. My tears are salt water flowing to bridge the seas and islands that divide us. The stars listen to my sighs as I look for you in the skies. And now you're here. Our love blazes like the fire of our heroes' revolution. Our hearts entwined is such sweet victory, incomparable, like the journey of our people, like the richness of our culture.
Kaning litanya, kabahining bisda kong paghigugma. Para buyag, kasing-kasing kiat. Para buyag, abdik pa ni Leon kilat. Pagpangga ko gay, paspuso sa larsyan. Muhumok, igbahog sabaw sa linarang. Humukog ilong, tanalaag tas kulon. At tuon, tadapit nga makasaysayon. Labik sa dila, ugot siya sa pulong. Dugan mo siguradong makumong-kumong. Hugot pa suot, hugot pa suot. Hugot pa suot.
Bahalag saging, basta labing. Bahalag buwan, basta tupad. Bahalag toyo, basta video. Bahalag inamos, basta langgakoy. Bahalag hilaw, basta ikaw. Bahalag korne, basta perme. Bahalag lanay, basta tanday. Bahalag dukot, basta lang hugot. Hugot pa suot, hugot pa suot. Kasing-kasing tapuno sa kahimuon. Huot pas hugot, huot pas hugot. Ikaw akong forever, wala'y magbuot. Hugot pas huot, hugot pas huot. Bisag ipadpad man sa tumang kalimot. Huot pas hugot, hugot pas hugot. Sa dalan kulon kita mag-abot. Bahalag piit basta sikit. Bahalag magumos basta lang timos. Bahalag mo noong basta muhaom. Bahalag di di makaya basta kita.
Di ka biyaan, tuura jud na ako. Mura General Maxilum ni ikon mo plano. Para ni mo makipatay ko pareho. Sa Cebuanong katipunerong si Alejo. Maglisod ko kaon kung di tadungan. Ang imong istorya murag musika sa dungan. Bisag kinsa nga babae, di ka ilisan. Kaya nga akong gugma, solid pa sa katipunan.
Hugot pas huot, hugot pas huot, kasing-kasing kapuno sa kahimuon. Huot pas hugot, hugot pas hugot, ikaw akong forever, wala'y magbuot na. Hugot pas hugot, hugot pas hugot, bisag ipatpad man sa tumang kalimot. Huot pas hugot, huot pas hugot, sa dalan kulon kita mag-abot. Sa dalan kulon kita mag-abot. Sa dalan kulon baya ang sabot.
Malipayong pagsaulog sa ikapito katuig sa Kapihan ni Lumaya in celebration of the 7 years of the Heritage Restaurant Kapihan ni Lumaya. Panelists the Cebu Heritage Hotel in partnership with the Museo Sugbo, the Central Visayas Association of Museums, the Andy Heritage Center, SOAN 2020, Flag Tour Guides, and the USC Center for Social Research and Education present to you this very yummy event, Imal Kaayo, exploring the CebuanoTasteBuds. Maayong hapon sa tanan, a yummy afternoon to everyone. Lami kayo nga afternoon para sa tanan. Daghang salamat to everyone who is on site, joining us, who will be tasting with us our very yummy dishes that our Kapihan ni Lumaya prepared for us this afternoon. So this month is also a celebration of the National Arts Month. And of course, 7 years ago, on this same day, February 28, the Kapihan ni Lumaya had its opening. So Kapihan ni Lumaya opened ahead of Palmgrass the Cebu Heritage Hotel because Palmgrass had its soft opening also in that year, in 2016, but had its grand opening in 2017 on the 𝗚𝗃𝗃 of 2016. So Palmgrass would also be celebrating its 6th year, ikaunom nga tuig, this April 2023. So this year, today, we are celebrating the ikapitong tuig sa Kapihan ni Lumaya. And with the tagline, you will be able to have a taste of Cebu history and heritage right on your plate, or eat and drink like our Cebuano warriors did. So that's our tagline. So do we have our servers at Kapihan ni Lumaya? Kapihan ni Lumaya has a theme of serving the classic Cebuano dishes. So that's why this afternoon we would also be exploring the Cebuano taste buds. Imal kaayo. So of course you know what is Imal. It's a Gen Z. It's a Gen Z Cebuano term for lami, which is yummy. In Tagalog, it is masarap. Masarap. In English, delicious. Ano pa? You give your those online. Thank you very much to those online for joining us. To Sophia, she was the first to be online. So we have also Peter, Oy, Juliana, Ramirez. Please write the hashtag Imal. That's lami. So it's the bali. It's pinabali, bali. bali of the word lami, 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 lami gyud. So we have Dustin Ramirez. Please write in the comment section from which school you are, or from which part of the Philippines or the world are you. So we have Peter, Juliana Therese. We have also Dustin, Ninya Karil, Kay Mariket, and Kay says Imal. Hashtag Imal. So Ellen is also from Plug watching, attending online. And I would also like to thank the Flag tour guides for this gift that I'm wearing right now. So I am wearing the gift from the tour guides of an indigenous theme shawl. So, and then also, you would also see me in a replica of pre-colonial earrings, gold earrings of the Visayans and those from Mindanao. So this is the Patanaw replica of the gold Patanaw earrings of the Visayans. So this is available at Palmgrass Sinugatan Gifts from Cebu. And also, this is also created by a heritage advocate, Ferdinand Ascaraga. And also, I am wearing a replica also of a pre-colonial necklace, Kamagi, the gold necklace of the Visayans. So this is really made of gold, 24 karat gold, and even this, but this is not very expensive. You can have this at Palmgrass uh, Sinugatan Gifts from Cebu. And also, grabe na akong plugging, no? I am also wearing our heritage, the art, the creation of the indigenous peoples. So of the Tibuli, I have here the the brass bracelets from the Tibuli. And this is also available from Palmgrass, Sinugatan, Gifts from Cebu. So you would see our server who is in our server at Kapihan ni Lumaya. The, is our server serving anything? So our server at Kapihan ni Lumaya has is wearing a, so we have our chef Mark from Kapihan ni Lumaya sa kusina, and also we have our server Rochelle, who she is wearing black and white clothing and with gold trims, because when 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 the wife of Humabon was baptized in 1521, she was wearing a black and white clothing. So, and she was also wearing a sarok, but she could not wear a sarok because it would disturb her with serving. So that's Rochelle serving you love for 7 years. So love on your plate through your the food nga imal kaayo, lawi kaayo. So Nikki sends hearts, and also John, Paul, and Christina. Daghang salamat for joining us. And so stay tuned for our contest, the Taste and Tilaw Tagna, Taste and Tell. So you see here so many dishes that we would show you at Kapihan ni Lumaya as we explore the Cebuano taste buds. So you would also be joining, we invite you to join our Tilaw Tagna. So to those on site, you would be able to take, you would be blindfolded. So we have the blindfold already. Did we prepare the blindfold? So you would be blindfolded, and you would guess, you would tagna. So for those not Cebuano, tagna, tilaw is taste. Tilaw, taste. You taste it. Taste and tell, and then you guess. Tagna, you guess what is the dish. And if the fastest to to guess, the fastest to tagna will win. So will win exciting prizes. So so you would be uh, tasting the dish, and you would also win. So Tilaw Tagna. So this is a very exciting afternoon. So to those who are online, you can still makaapas pa mo. You can still come to taste our dishes and win. So hutdo na dayon niya ang iyang gitilawan. Ang iyang gitilawan, so you would finish what you tasted. So actually, taste tilaw in Cebuano, it's tilaw. In English, it's taste. But when you say taste in English, like you taste it, tilawi, no? How does it taste? How do you say that in Cebuano? Unsay lami. Kung mayong kag lami kaayo, how do you say it in English? It's very delicious. So, in Tagalog, ang sarap. Ang sarap-sarap. Napakasarap. so, so we have Ellen who says, happy to see you wearing the shawl that has given you. Daghang salamat to the tour guides for the love. And also to Kate, 𝗕𝗄𝗧 Duhilig. Are you students of Koan, of Chef Richard? And then we have Feline from BHM1. Is this from USJR? And Honey Lynn Sasam, and Nico Bayani, Jean Pearl Alsula, Christina Luren, BHM13. So so we have also our participants from other parts of the country. So we have from the schools division from the Department of Education, Schools Division of Taguig City and Pateros. Daghang salamat for joining us once again. And we also have from the DepEd Cebu City joining us online. We have someone from the Department of Tourism. We have from the University of San Jose Recoletos and from Mika Cebu. Ano Mika? 𝗵𝗂𝗂𝗂 Institute of Culinary Arts. So hospitality, H would be hospitality. This is a culinary school. So daghang salamat to the 𝗵𝗂𝗂𝗂 Institute of Culinary Arts. So I guess we have some who also worked here at Pamgras who came from the 𝗵𝗂𝗂𝗂 Culinary Arts. So thank you very much to those on site. Thank you to our Suki Ben from formerly from 𝗕𝗏𝗀𝗃, from Fiber Institute. Daghang salamat for joining us. And also, wala pa ko yung kanang attendance sheet. So, we also invite you tonight to our event. There is another event celebrating the 7 years of Kapihan ni Lumaya, Lafang, food trip sa kapitong tuig sa Kapihan ni Lumaya. So, we will have tonight an acoustic performance by our artist, and then Xiao Garcia. There will also be contests tonight. Like still, there is another Tilaw Tagna, but different dishes. So this afternoon, you are all invited to Tilaw and to Tagna, those on site. So you taste and you tell what is the dish. The fastest, and the dish would be yours. But the fastest to guess would be nani siya tiebreaker sa tingali if they have the same time in guessing the food that they are tasting. You would be blindfolded and you will be asked to name to give the name of the dish. So we have so many dishes here, but only a few would be given to you for tasting. One for each contestant. A different dish for each contestant. So isn't that exciting? So we also have with us right now. So of course Benjamin. Is this Benjamin or Benjamin? Ben Gomo and so di ko kabasa sa agi. So Sweetie, is this Sweetie? Thank you for joining. And so we don't have your from which organization or institution you are from. It's not in the registration form from which institution or place in Cebu are they from. And so we also would like to invite you this March 7. There would be a coffee talk because we have this also a follower of Pangas, the Cebu Heritage Hotel Heritage Events. So we have Cebuano Canadian. We have Cebuano, the administrator of this page, Visayas Culture, Canada-based page that advocates for Cebuano and Visayan heritage. Um, Wing with his sibling Michelle Wing. They're from Canada, but they will be visiting Cebu, and they're also from the Kathara Filipino Indigenous Arts Collective Society. They will be here on March 7, and they will be with us in a coffee talk as we explore Visayas culture, and we would also converse with them how they got interested in their advocacy for the Visayan culture. So also on March 11, watch out for this. Uh, Pangras de Cebu Heritage Hotel, sister company, the 𝗬𝗏𝗃 Incorporated, a publishing and also a film production company, and also we also produce 𝗬𝗏𝗃 Incorporated also produces films, videos, and songs about Cebuano heritage and history. 𝗬𝗏𝗃 will also be launching this March 11 a book by by Cebu historian Cebu historian and archaeologist Dr. 𝗍𝗶𝗆 Versalles, and this is co-authored by a Japanese Tahei Okada. We will be launching his book, The Japanese Community in Cebu from the 1900s to the 1945. So stay tuned for this launching. So this would be a hybrid event. We will be you are invited to come here, and also you the, there will also be a Facebook Live event for this. So, karon, so di na ta maglangan. So, if you have if you have questions, daghan na kay ko. So of course we know about Cebuano food. We know the we have been conversing and tasting Cebuano and Visayan food throughout our heritage and history events. So we have journeyed towards our past, and right now we are journeying to the Cebuano taste buds to to explore the Cebuano taste buds. What is imal? What is lami for the Cebuano? So why is it? Why are the food the Cebuano food lami for us? What makes it lami? So, right now we have our resource person. So we would like to introduce to you our resource person who is with us for the first time. She is She was a food columnist for the Cebu Daily News, and she hosted for 2 years an online cooking show entitled The Taste of Cebu. She is uh, an author. She is an author of 7 books, including the Balaanong Bahandi, and this is about the sacred treasures of the Archdiocese of Cebu. And she co-authored Via Veritatis, the biography of Ricardo Cardinal Vidal, the most Reverend and the late Ricardo Cardinal Vidal, the former Archbishop of Cebu, and she is also a member of the Cebu Archdiocesan Commission for the Cultural Heritage of the Church, and she is also a member of the Movement for a Livable Cebu. She is a grandmother of 4 strapping young boys, and she relishes the joy of cooking for her family. And she is the author of this book, Hikay, the Culinary Heritage of Cebu. Please help me welcome. It's our pleasure to have with us for the first time the food historian and an ardent advocate of culture and history, Miss Luella Etzlau Alex. Maayong hapon, Miss Luella. Maayong hapon. Okay na ato audio. So,
Yeah, okay na.
sige, maayong hapon. So, daghang salamat for being with us on site this afternoon. So, we also have with us this afternoon our Suki in our past culinary heritage, our Suki in our two previous culinary heritage discussions. And he has been a guest in some TV shows, even in national TV, to present and explore the Cebuano food, and he got awards in contest regarding Visayan food, and he is also right now a professor at the Department of Tourism and Hospitality of the University of San Jose Recoletos. Please help me welcome Chef Richard Howe.
Maayong udto ninyong tanan, Ma'am Alex. Hapon na din. Madam Alex.
Maayong hapon. So actually, daghang salamat, Chef Richard. So I remember that when Chef Richard was here the last time, so with the talk, basta Bisaya Lami, there were so many interactions and telling him to already have a vlog to have a vlog on Cebuano food. So maybe we would watch out for that in the future. Daghang salamat, Chef Richard. And daghang salamat for your students who are greeting you right now online. So so now we would also like to introduce to you our one of our chefs at our Kapihan ni Lumaya, serving you love and Cebu history and heritage right on your plate. Please help me welcome with us one of our chefs, Chef Mark.
Mayong hapon kaninyong mayong hapon sa pagsaulog sa Kapihan ni Lumaya sa ikapito katuig sa Kapihan ni
7 years.
Lumaya.
Daghang salamat, Chef Mark. So, nakuyawan si Chef Mark, nataranta siya. Pero of course, in the kitchen, they are the master of the kitchen. They are not scared in front of the fire and the stove and the pot. But in front of the microphone, nakuyawan siya. So, maanad ra ka, Chef. so, so, so now we would like to also recognize those who are just have commented at our Facebook live event. So we have still from BHMFB1. So this is from USJR Micaela, Doreen Agravante also, Ferdy Aparticio from the DepEd Taguig City and Pateros, tumutunghay mula sa sangay ng mga paaralan ng lungsod ng Taguig at bayan ng Pateros. Daghang salamat to the supervisor of the DepEd Taguig City and Pateros for always joining us in our heritage events. Also to Kay, Mariket, to Madeline, Nico, and to Micaela Bardinas. So daghang salamat. So please give your questions to our resource persons as we go along. So we invite you to. So Kay Repolyo said, "Arang lamia." Lami kaayo. So arang lamia kung sa English, so delicious. So in Tagalog, napakasarap. Ang sarap. Sa payo balala. Sa English, delicious or na? Napay mas lami nga word. Is there a synonym more yummy than delicious? Delectable. Sa pa? Mas lami yun ang lami. Lami oy. Kalami. Kalami sa basta Cebuano, basta Bisaya nga food lami gyud. So now we would like to know why our food, the Cebuano taste buds, have uh, have these consider our dishes as yummy. So what makes the dishes of the Cebuano in Cebu yummy? So so now we would like to have this first question to our resource person, our food Cebu food historian. So we have Miss Luella Alex. So we have this question for her regarding regarding the geography. How do the geography and the topography of the Cebu Island influence our cooking and eating habits?
Okay. Well, as I think it is common in all places, no? The geography of the place and the topography of the place would always influence the eating habits or the cooking habits of the people living there. If you look at the map of Cebu, you could see that it is like an elongated kamote. Nagtaas ang iyang kuan pinataas, no? Na shape with mountain ridges in the middle, which flows down to the plains, very, very little plains, no? Because we don't have that much flat land in Cebu. And then it goes to the sea immediately. It's the seashore. Before you know it, you're in the seashore already. And this kind of topography kind of dictates what we eat actually. Because like in the mountains, what do you find in the mountains? Vegetables, fruit trees, wild animals. Maybe in the a long time ago, our ancestors already tamed the animals, like the pig, for example. That's one of the well tamed wild animal in Cebu. We first, I think, tamed the wild pig long, long before other nations visited us. Okay, himaboy mangid ang Cebu. We have a love affair with pork. And then, so in the mountains, you see, we make use of what is there. For example, the puso, which we love so much, that was first crafted in the mountains. What did they use? They used the coconut leaf after removing the hard midrib in the middle. They used it to make into small shapes that could hold rice, and then they made it into. There are 6 distinctive designs, by the way, of the puso. And then they placed rice in it and they cooked it. But at first, it was offered only to the spirits of the land. It was not, eaten by everybody. It took a while before the farmers saw nga, ay, madaman din ni ako sa bukid, no? Inig umana ko, madaraman din ni kay it's a portable piece of food na when it's wrapped in the coconut leaf. Now, aside from that, we eat the vegetables that surround us in the mountains. I think we learned how to eat all those leaves and all those gourds hanging hanging in the trees, no? And then when you go down to the plains, which is very near the seashore, so another geographical feature is with us, the sea, for example. The sea is an endless source of food. If you're industrious and you're, cunning enough to be able to go fishing, you can fish the whole day or the whole night. And then, yeah, look at this picture of children, nanginhas. That's the term for that in our dialect is nanginhas, no? They just turn over all the stones there and then find seashells, small fishes. They bring it home to their mothers and it is made instantly into tinua with the addition of kamungay. That's a very, very potent brew already, no? It's a very nutritious soup. So we learn to use and to cook the way we cook now dictated by our surroundings. Is that enough?
Okay. So, daghang salamat, Miss Luella. So, of course, as Miss Luella, our Cebu food historian, has told us that we get our food from the seas, from the
From the
mountains, from the
mountains.
plains, from the trees, from the marine life, and also, of course, from the rivers. So,
Yes.
we would also like to show you that we also have these treasures from the sea and from the land that makes our food very lami. So, for example, I would like to show you this is the an a salt. This is this is the 𝗬𝗵𝗲𝗂𝗂. Father Francisco Alcina in the 1600s described that the Visayans would eat their food. They don't put salt while cooking. They would break. This is now the so this is sold at Silugatan Gift Store Cebu. How much is this? 1,000. Barato, but you would be having a heritage salt with you. And then the Boholanos are still doing this, but this is described by Father Francisco Alcina that the Visayans would actually put this on the table because the individual the eater I mean the one who would eat the one who the one who would dine would just break part of the salt and put on his or her food like soup or gravy or something. So or their soup or their stew. So they were very healthy, right? So they don't put too much salt on their food because it would be according to the taste of the one who dined. So this is the the asin tibuok. It's still available now, but then the 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 those who craft this they also are they also make the clay pot and this takes a long time because this is they gather the water from the middle of the sea, they bring them to land and they put it in process of heating it and things. So and but then if we don't buy from them, if we don't support the crafters of this, the
From
artisans,
Bohol.
the 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 asinti buok makers, this would vanish. They would no longer make something like this. So, of course, uh, um, food historian Miss Luella also told us about um, what we get from the plains, from our we have grain. So we have so before the Spaniards came, when the Spaniards came, they saw that we had rice cakes. So we would like to show you. So this is we would like to show you the delicacies being served by Kapihan ni Lumaya that would remind us of the ancient food that the Spaniards saw when they came to Cebu 500 years ago. So we still have right now we have putumaya. So we have putumaya. So it's actually like there was also kabug millet uh, cake and rice cake. So we have right now. So of course putumaya with manga. So is manga is manga is it did we have mangoes before the Spaniards came? So it's an indigenous fruit. So we also have natay binignit karon. So we have biko. So it's also a rice cake. So the Spaniards saw we offer cakes, rice cakes for during rituals. Lahi lagi na nga biko. Oh, ingana na ang biko. Before kay triangle tato biko. Kuan na lingin na ang biko, so ni-evolve na ang biko. So that's our biko. So we also have binignit, so with root crops. So you have this binignit and this is also you will also have this for delivery. We always keep improving our binignit, especially when we get feedback, constructive feedback from our guests. So we have that niuga na siya. So daghan kayo siya og kuan sagol. So it's our bestseller dish during the Semana Santa. So asa na to ang kuan binignit? Dali ara oy. Grabe dugay kay giluto sa kusina ba niya? Dali ra kaayo gitanaw sa dali ra kaayo gitanaw. So naanay so it has sago, naana siya. It has kamote, it has ube, gabi, nangka. So it has also jackfruit with sago o kanang sa gani nang kuan kanang gagmay kanang landang and then of course the pilit no naanay pilit and the very important ingredient the very healthy coconut milk. So mao na siya. So kanang ayaw mo kalimot sa Semana Santa, sa Biyernes Santo, sa Biyernes Santo. This is available here. We don't close. We are open until 2 a.m. And then we also have this for delivery. So we have been serving, especially during the pandemic. Grabe ni, we got orders during the pandemic in April of 2020 when there was a commotion at carbon market and we said don't panic, we have benignit, and our staff panicked because we got inquiries every second, and those who, if we would say we ran out of it, paasa mo, you are paasa. And then they said we want it delivered to wherever, which part of the city, and we said we can't go there. Paasa mo, you are paasa. There is border control or they are blocked to the road. You are paasa. So we actually apologized after that because we got so many orders and then the kusina did not anymore follow the standard ingredients because they wanted to stretch the ingredients. So we apologized and we replaced the items. So that's the very bestseller controversial binignit. This is the controversial food of the Cebuanos during Semana Santa. So of course we have dalion na lang ginato. We have budbud. Wala lagi open ana. I-open na nato later. So it's budbud. So budbud is also sticky rice inside wrapped in banana leaves. We have also bingka. Natay bingka? Wala dire. Wala. Wa kaapa sa kusina sa daghang kay order. And sikwati. So of course sikwati. Ano na mo si sikwati karon? Unya na ni later the nasikwata is introduced by the Spaniards in Spanish period from Mexico. So later na sad ng 𝗵𝗵𝗄. So we would like to show you one video of how our putumaya and mangga sikwati is prepared, and we also have a guest from Taiwan. This video was made before the pandemic. So this is our Food for Heroes video.
Maayong adlaw! I am Chef Rain and I will be showing you how to make Cebuano or local dishes.
Amazing. Many different texture in my mouth. In Taiwan, if we use this sticky rice more, we mix. We how to say that? We try to mix it with other thing. We will put something inside, like a sesame or peanuts, and then you can eat together. We call 𝗵𝗃
Salamat for that video created by our interns at PAMGRAS and also our partner in our Heritage Awareness Program, Social Communications Asia Pros Lapot. So thank you for that video made in 2018. So wala pa yung mask at tulo. Kanang wala pa tay face mask before COVID na. So we would like also to say hi, maayong hapon, Imal kaayo, Dylan or Beta, BSHM1. And there is already a question. Anyone may answer this. We would reserve this question later from 𝗱𝗲𝗺𝗃 from DepEd, Taguig City and Pateros. What makes Cebu lechon stand out? Where is the best lechon in Cebu aside from Karkar? Di mo sugot ang mga taga-Talisay. And then Ferdy says, Putumaya partner with 𝗖𝗵𝗲𝗳. This is Ferdy is from Taguig City and Pateros, but when he comes to Pamgras, and he likes to have the Putumaya with 𝗖𝗵𝗲𝗳. He says it's his favorite. John Troy sends 2 hearts, and Cyril Guanzon Poblador also sends 3 hearts. Daghang salamat for having an Imal kaayo afternoon with us. So, are we showing tuba? So, 500 years ago, the Spaniards saw that the favorite drink of Raha Humabon is this, tuba. Mainom na or nasuka lala. so, so they actually would serve tuba. So his cup would be always filled with tuba, and they also had this way of drinking tuba, drinking with a reed like a straw. They used reed as a straw, and they would be like a very big jar with tuba. Yeah, and then they also serve tuba in the ritual for the slaughtering of the pig. Aside from the rice cake, they also serve tuba. So the gods like tuba also. They also like they like tuba, and they also like the rice cakes. So is it still served at Hardin Dagami and Kapihan Lumaya ang tuba? It's still served at kung wa pa masuka. So, kung masuka, isagol na lang sa inununan. so, daghang salamat, Chef Mark. So now we would like to ask our award-winning chef, Chef Richard Howe from the University of San Jose Recoletos, regarding the CebuanoTasteBuds. Please elaborate on the CebuanoTasteBuds.
Okay.
As a reflection of our...
Actually,
Yes.
I prepared a PowerPoint.
Yes.
Before I start, I would like to, show my gushing admiration to Madam Luella Alex. I usually, I oftentimes meet her in social function, and I want to approach her, but my shyness usually overtakes me because she's always surrounded by VIP. Murag mauwaw ta. But since nagkauban mi karon, I consider it as an honor and a privilege. I mean, my God, it's the great Luella Alex, the living Cebuano culinary icon, whom naghuwat namin sa part
May you
2
show them?
sa
Brando?
no joking. Di ba? I have my student here. When we discuss in the Filipino cuisine, I always mention reference is the Hikay. It stands the test of time when it comes to heritage culinary food pinned by the Madame Luella Alex. So when I was informed that I will be invited, I immediately sent my information to Nami fan club. Si Ma'am Sweetie and si Ma'am Bing, both from Cebu Farmers Market and Slow Food Sugbo. Pangari mo kay, I will be sitting with Ma'am Luella Alex. Now, common friends and common fan club idolizing you. Okay, before I answer that, can you play the PowerPoint that I prepared so that it's going to be more lucid? Because I gathered photographs. Okay. Can you increase the size, the font size? Okay. Now, regarding the question why Cebuano food is lami, when you talk about the word lami in other languages, they have this meaning that you taste it. It's a question. But when you said lami, we already acknowledge that the food we're eating are already delicious. It's just an affirmation. The word lami is just an affirmation that what you are going to eat is actually very delicious. While in other country, can you taste it? They're still not sure whether the food is, tastes good. Now, why is Cebuano food considered as lami? Because Cebuano taste buds is a reflection of our indomitable spirit for survival and our cunning ability to forage for food. Mangita ta. Kung walay pagkaon, mangita gid ta. It was very evident during the pandemic when most of the local markets are closed. So you have to cook everything and anything that is available in our backyard. So you have to be cunning. Now, regarding sa talk ni Ma'am Luella Alex nga manginhas, I would like to add a point because I grew up in Masbate. Our ancestral house is near the beach. So during that time sa wala pa kaning global warming, every time mag-low tide, it's like a paradise for us because we walk sa low tide kaayo niya daghan kay na dihag kinason. So what we do is that it was also taught to me by one of our grandfather that in order to catch more shells or fish during low tide, you bring with you ash because we use wood, di ba? When cooking. So ang ash na, we bring it and then the moment we step on the low tide, we sprinkle it. Because the ashes deprive the aquatic creatures underneath the soil oxygen. So manggawas na sila. So it's easy for us to pick. And you're right. We immediately make it into tinula. Simple. You do not need to add ingredients because the taste of the fresh catch is already there. So that's one, our ability to forage. Now, in my example, if the audience can see it, that is some of the creation documented by the Cebu Provincial Tourism Office regarding Filipino Cebuano food. We have if you're familiar with the takyong of Bourbon, the northern part, takyong are just growing it's like the escargot of France on the leaf. And then you do not pick up takyong, it's already fallen from the tree because they immediately die. So you have to pick it really So that can be also food. And you can actually ferment it, you can actually pickle it. Just, it's like when you cook in France, na imo lang initon ang oil, then imong ibutang sa takyong, you can preserve it and combine it with your rice later on. Or you can just steam it, pinaka-simple. So that's one. There's also, in Lapu-Lapu, they call it, if I'm not mistaken, they call it sasing. Sasing is found on the mangroves, sa tree sa ilawom. So, kwaon na nila, mura sila you're from Lapu-Lapu? Mura siya ka ng worm, pero aquatic worm siya, and then it's growing on the tree, the mangrove underneath the ocean. So that lahi, ma'am, ang tamilok. I think ang tamilok is sa other lugar, pas dagko. Kaning iha, mas elongated siya. They call it sasing. I'm also surprised pag gawa sa documentation na they have that. Nanggawas lang na during the pandemic when, although there is a restriction, who can prevent us from swimming in the ocean and discover the bounty of the sea, according to Ma'am Luella Alex. Okay, so you have also, I was surprised that in the documentation, we're familiar with Utan Bisaya. But Utan Bisaya, in our ordinary cooking, they do not put banana. Saging. Dili nila butang saging, but there is an Utan Bisaya commonly found in kamotes in which ang ilang Utan Bisaya butangan nila saging. Kardapa ilang ibutang. I was amazed by semi-ripe. I was amazed by the taste. I think I was surprised na, wow, you have an Utan Bisaya that is somewhat different in taste. And it works well. A little bit sweet siya because of the semi-ripe kardaba. And only in that area, Camotes and in Aluginsan, they're still cooking it. So it's a discovery of the palate and 𝗵𝗵𝗂𝗂 kaayo.
Need.
During the
Because
time.
aluginsan and kamotes are known to be not
Resource in the bountiful
not rich in
in
resources.
resource,
Yes. Aluginsan for the longest time, when I went there once to a priest's convento, I asked him if we can share our food with them. So he says, "Ay maayo ma'am kay dinhi sa kalisod namo kanang puso inyong da isuwa na namo sa among kanon ng mais." So ang puso isuwa sa kanon na mais. Inana mi kapobre diri sa Aluginsan. And my daughter too stayed there, I think, for a while, the UP students, and they said, "Mommy, we never saw so much need until I stayed in Aluginsan." So extreme need would result to innovative food, no?
You're right.
I'm so interested in the saging.
Yeah.
I might just try it with my Utan Bisaya.
After I tasted that Utan
Yes.
Bisaya with banana, I
Yes.
started cooking it. And it works well. Because banana commonly grows all over Cebu province. Diba? I'm very interested in cooking it. Actually, sige na kung butang og it improves also the broth of the Utan Bisaya. Kindly forward.
Yes. So, do you have other photos by Chef Richard? That's all?
Mauna na. Kindly forward. Yeah. Forward na lang. You have this another example of the ability to forage. You have the bakasi, but rather than making it into a stew, we normally make it into pickled inununan. That's very common, but very lami. That's bakasi, and you normally cook it in a clay pot. There's it really adds wonder to your food in terms of taste and aesthetic appeal. If you use the local native na to nga clay pot, I don't know. It has a it preserves the food at the same time, and it adds flavor
I think has a different reaction.
to the food.
Metallic, no? But from a clay pot, it just tastes right. React tingali siya sa metal pots. So,
Yeah.
yes, when you taste that, that's very bad for your health already. So balik ta sa kun.
Yeah, true. And talking about carcinogenic, there are so many utensils now flooding, the Philippines that are really not fit for human consumption. And I don't know that housewives likes to buy mga kaserola nga nindot na na mga flower wa sila kay baw that's painted with enamel. Let's go back to the more native casserole, the clay pot. I'm not yet done. Forward, please.
Wa makatay time.
Okay. Next.
Constraint.
It's a free-flowing lang, ma'am. Okay. The next point, why Cebuano taste buds are unique, is that it's a reflection of our colonial past, but at the same time has evolved into one which I called subversive cooking. Subversive cooking is our resistance to follow what has been, acquired. One example. Next photo, please. One example is our very own fruit salad. Fruit salad per se is not swimming in cream. That is brought to us by American when they invaded the use of cream. When you talk about fruit, fresh fruit, we normally don't buy it in canned preserve, swimming in syrup. We normally slice it and eat it fresh. Diba? But because of the influence of American cuisine to us, we now actually have the what you call that, the fruit salad. The next one is also the buttered chicken. When we fry, you call it pritong manok. We do not normally coat it with flour. We just want it, simple, the pritong manok without any skin. Then you also have the roast pork that is presented in a festive manner during, a la carte restaurant. And all of these are actually influenced by our colonial past. But let me show you photograph of why we are considered subversive cooking. Can you please next one? Okay. Now, siomai. Siomai is Chinese. But how do we eat siomai now in Cebu? We paired it with calamansi. But when you research for Chinese cooking, they never paired it with calamansi. They never paired it with bagoong. But we have our own taste. Who can tell us that you should eat the siomai like this? Why magbuot na to kay lami? Next, spaghetti. Italians always mock us. Don't add pineapple in your spaghetti. Don't make it sweet. The sweetness should be derived from fresh tomatoes. And so, as a way of telling them, no, we have our own way of cooking spaghetti. We add condensed milk, we add hot dog, we add cheese, and who can tell us that that's not the way it's done? Nga lami man. Okay. Next, you have the lumpia Shanghai. Lumpia Shanghai, you cannot find it in any place in China. It was again our way of saying that we have our own dim sum. And you have the lumpia Shanghai, and all of this tastes good. Last photo. Next photo, please. Okay. Now, you also have the tuslubwa. Tuslubwa is an example of subversive cooking, because in other European country that is cultured, they will throw the mga head part. They will only the innards. They only consider the prime cuts as edible. They will not eat the head, the internal organs. But who can tell us that we cannot cook pig's brain with liver? So we have the tuslubwa. That's again a subversive cooking against fondue of France or European, di ba? Fondue, communal eating, arte-arte, no cheese. Well, we have our own tuslubwa. And the balot. Only in the Philippines, we abort duck to make it into balot. And I consider that subversive cooking. And these are all very lami. Actually, daghan pa kog points. We can continue. Yes.
Salamat, Chef Richard. So Chef Richard was telling us about the influence of the colonialization to our food. So of course, we also know that what the food that are introduced to us by our colonizers. So we have, for example, at 𝗏𝗃𝗃, we have this bestseller cake, which is tablia cake. And it comes from tablia, which is, so this tablia here, we are also selling this. This is actually processed by our kusina, because during the pandemic, our supplier of tablia, pure tablia, was not able anymore to bring us tablia. So the kusina had to roast the cacao seeds, ang cacao seeds,
Seeds.
so the cacao seeds, and they made the tablea themselves. I mean, and then our suki, whose favorite is the tablea cake, like Gavin Sanson Bagars, it tastes better with the kusina already making the tablea. But I think it's the same, because we only use pure tablea, nothing else, no additive, only the cacao, and it's very healthy. So we have also our sikwati, right? So aside from that, we have we have another like grain that was introduced to us by the Spaniards. What grain is this? Because our staple grain before the Spaniards came was millets. Ka-bright kaayo sa mga yung mga estudyante. Sige na rin sila og paminaw ni Miss Luella Alex and the culinary heritage conversations at Pamgra. So our our staple grain was millet or kabog. But then the Spaniards introduced maize. That's from Mexico, the corn. And then they said that in the book that we also published by Genesius C, the Spaniards said that the Cebuanos didn't like mais. But we learned to love
love
it.
it.
So that's why at Kapihan ni Lumaya we also serve mais, but it takes a long time to cook it, like 10 minutes, more than 10 minutes, right? And we also serve kapi mais. So we have see Chef Richard was telling us we subvert, we have a subversion, we the subversion sa what the colonizers introduced to us, and we made coffee out of the mais. So we toasted. So it's the original, according to food historian Miss Luella Alex, is the original decaf coffee. The original decaf coffee, the kapi mais. Do we have kapi mais? So asa na to? So Chef Mark would show the kapi mais. So now we would like to go back to, we would like to ask Chef Richard, nakita na ang kapi mais? Yes, it's kapi mais. So the subversion to the what the colonizers. So we made our own from what they introduced. Di bakit ano ang kapi? Agtasa log. Mayabo, okay pakita. So mao na siya ang kapi mais. It's available at Kapihan ni Lumaya. We are still so we would like to ask pro, Chef Richard regarding the Cebuano taste buds as inspired from the local producers, the growers, the farmers, and the fisher folk. So how is the, we would like Chef Richard to describe how is the Cebuano taste buds, how is ba ng taste buds are how is giunsa nga ang taste buds, ang panglami sa mga Cebuano are influenced by, are inspired by the local producers, the farmers, and the fisher folk.
Okay. Cebuano cooking or taste buds are oftentimes not only considered as communal cooking. The preparation itself is considered communal. We are the only, let's say, we are the only country siguro that have a dirty kitchen in which all the activity before cooking are done. It's where the conversation happens. Not only the cleaning of the food ingredients, but the conversation about family, the assigning of tasks. Oftentimes, when we cook it out of love. We do not cook it for ourselves. Walay lami kung magluto ra ta para sa kaugalingon nato. We oftentimes cook it for our family, for our friends. Diba? So that's what makes our food, Cebuano food, very, very lami. And another thing is that we oftentimes get our raw ingredients from the producer itself, from the farmers, from the fisher folk. I remember when I was growing up in Masbate, we did not go to the market to buy fish. We normally, how do you call it, ambush those fishing vessel nga mudak sa among, sa likod sa liyo sa among balay. We normally ambush them and then buy the catch, the fresh catch of the day, right there and then. We don't go to the market itself. So and because of that, we develop an understanding. We develop not the love for cooking, but also the patriotic sense that those who toil to provide us with the food ingredients should at least benefit when it comes to the fullest income, not only the vendors now. And I would like to extend my kudos to my Cebu farmers family for doing that. And if you look at Cebu now, no, I'm not only talking about Cebu City, vibrant na ta, mura na tag year 80s when there are so many food there, na balik-balik na tagamay, na anay bingka nga magsuroy, dili na fast food, na anay bingka nga magsuroy, na ay magsuroy og binignit. That's a good thing because young generation has to move away from fast food. That's not only fattening, but at the same time dangerous to your taste bud. Dangerous why? Because you kill the other senses. The only thing that you like in the fast food are the grease. The rest you can no longer taste the earthy flavor, the combination of, sweet and sour, usan na lang ka taste buds imong matilaw niya, wala na. Patay na imong taste bud. It's a good thing, no? And siguro na because of the work, collective effort. And so to say, siguro po sa leading, our leading culinary icon, Miss Luella Alex, who put Cebuano, who put the culinary scene not only in Cebu, but all over the Philippines and could be also outside. Now, another thing, why is it that can you show the photos, please? Some of the photos. Because there's a photo there with our Ansani, event. Now, the good thing also about, before we go to that, lechon is again considered as a subversive food in opposition to the roast pork na gidibone. Nganong dili man ta mukaon sa ulo og ikog sa arte-arte man. Ihawo nato tibuok. In fact, during the earlier times nga nakatilaw ang mga foreigner daw og lechon, murag maluoy sila sa baboy, kay maluoy sila nga whole and everything, na ay dauban makasuka. Kay fillet baya na sila sa US ug sa Europe. But right now, moari sila Pilipinas, moadto nagkarkar, talisay, pangitao na, di na mi ganag hiniwa, ganahan mig tibuok nga lechon. I saw them during the event ato. We serve the whole lechon and wala sila kaarte-arte. They are foreigner. Kaon sila. That's a good thing that they are now embracing our subversiveness. Kay subversibo man gyud ta, mga Cebuano.
To use the word.
Okay.
That all of you combined. In the 80s, it was still called inasal. That which has been roasted. It means an animal that has been roasted is inasal, giasal, as opposed to gisugba nga pieces of meat. When you roast a whole thing, a whole pig,
That's
a whole
inasal.
goat, a whole chicken, inasal nga manok, inasal nga baka, inasal nga baboy. Yes. We should not call it subversive, Richard. I know what you mean, but because it should be spoken with pride. This is a dish or something that we have invented as people to cook something like this. It should be our pride. It should never be called a negative name.
Thank
Nobody
you,
does
Miss
inasal like
Luella.
us.
True. True.
So actually, Miss Luella has a discussion later about the inasal and the sinugba. Meantime, we would like to ask Chef Richard to continue his presentation.
No, it's okay, ma'am. Actually, ma'am, I am very again fortunate that you have partly corrected. But let me how do you call that, re-anchored by discussion. I'm not saying that ang lechon is can be considered as a subversive dish in opposition to the roast pork. But ang akong point lang that is that gihol gyud ang lechon nato ba. Unlike sa European or American nga i-debone gyud nila, they will only show the the tenderloin part. So mao na akong point, but that's a very good point, ma'am. Starting today, I will no longer call it lechon. I will call it inasal. Okay? Never mind maski inasal or lechon. My mouth is already salivating with the thought of encountering a whole roasted pork or roasted pig. That's only in Cebu. Okay. Next, please. Now, another point that I would like to consider is that why CebuanoTasteBuds is actually very good. Aside from that, is that you can see in the photo, no? We normally, get in touch with our producers, farmers, fisher folk to source our fresh ingredient. We do not rely in canned goods. We do not rely in canned products. In fact, when I was invited to judge one of the culinary competition long time ago. They are cooking, Italian pasta. So straight from the can, ablihan nila ang tomato paste or tomato sauce when in fact daghang kay nangalata nga kamati sa carbon. So I immediately gave them a very low point katong group. I want you to show me how to slice fresh tomato. Oh, I mean, why would you look for Italian pasta when we are in the Philippines? Oh, Italian tomatoes when we are in the Philippines. You go to Carbon. There are so many very good fresh tomatoes there. So that's one of my point. We always use fresh ingredients. We do not use canned canned goods. Para nako, that's an insult to the senses. In fact, I do not like preparing moangkon ra ko. I don't like preparing fresh fruit salad straight from the can. I oftentimes buy the freshest fruits, slice them. There's nothing to beat. Walay makalabaw sa fresh nga prutas. Rather palit ka anang nadugmok na sa sugar syrup. Then pagtan-aw nimo, pag ihap nimo, kapayas ra di ay giilad ra ka. Di ba? Butang-butangan pag grapes. Ngano mangita man ka grapes daghan tag mangga. Okay? Next, please. Okay. Now, medyo taas-taas akong discussion kay nami mong kaayo ko. Ato na lang ni iko ang utilize. Yeah, okay.
Actually, we also
Last.
have a question. Okay.
Okay.
Do you want to continue?
Or later.
Actually,
later na.
later na.
Sige.
So Chef Richard and Miss Luella were telling us about how the geography, topography, and our producers influence our Cebuano taste buds. So we would also, our chef at Kapihan ni Lumaya would like to show you that from our dishes from coconut that have coconut milk in them, because a coconut milk is also, it's very healthy and it's usually in our rice cakes, right? So we would like to show you that we have our classic utan bisaya at palm grass with no coconut milk, but we also have utan bisaya with tono at palm grass. So there are actually those who want their utan bisaya with tono, but there are also most of those who avail of utan bisaya like it without tono, the clear utan bisaya. Unsa na siya, clear na or with tono? Clear ni karon, clear dai. So this is from our producers, and so makit-an siya, ladi makit-on. So mo na siya ang utan bisaya. And then we also have, so from the sea, we have our kinilaw nga isda. The utan bisaya is named in honor of a character in folklore in Cebu or even in Mactan, Lumaya. Our restaurant is named in honor also of Lumaya, a character in folklore. So we have our kinilaw nga isda ni Dagami, named in honor of a warrior in Cordoba, formerly Gabi. So the island of Gabi. So warrior Dagami. So this kinilaw nga isda is named in honor of him, warrior Dagami. And we also have another dish with with tuno or coconut milk, the kinilaw nga puso sa saging. So asa na diha? So we have puso sa saging. This is available every day at Palmgrass Kapihan ni Lumaya. So we always like this food we always offer this food because we want everyone to recall that we have this healthy dishes from our environment, from the producers, from the those who plant bananas. Tanom ba ng bananas? Yes, itanom gid ang banana. So we have kinilaw nga puso sa saging. So now we would like to ask our food historian, Miss Luella, to tell us about what makes the Cebuano dishes lami. What is lami for the Cebuano taste buds? And about these common herbs and spices in Cebuano cuisine and why the Cebuanos prefer these herbs and spices.
Okay. Oh, yesterday when we were talking about spices and herbs. There was a little question about what is an herb and what is a spice, no? Yesterday. But if you notice that most of what we call herbs come from the leaves of the plants, no? Herbs are mostly leaves of the plants. Other parts of the plant can be spices, like the roots, the seeds, the bark. Then those are spices. Because why are they? Why are the leaves called the herbs considered important to our food? Because they have an aromatic what you call, character, di ba? They put a little bit of character into our food. Like if you put, a cake. That's Cebuano 𝗳𝗏𝗃 ug butangan nimo og kanang kanang dahon sa tumoy or ang kanang buwak sa sangig, which is Asian basil, your utan Bisaya will go up a notch higher than the ordinary utan, di ba? Mas humot siya. So because we eat not only with one sense, we do not eat only with the tongue, we eat with our nose, we eat with our eyes. So ang nose, makasimhot na gani sa sangig, murag, mas lami magyud ang utan Bisaya, di ba? Oh. And take for example, the inasal or the lechon that Richard spoke about. What makes, I'm not going to wait for the other question that I saw yesterday. What makes the Cebuano lechon or inasal special? What do we put inside that big cavity of the pig that has been slaughtered? You put a big bunch of lemongrass, you put a big bunch of sibuyas Bisaya, and then a handful of garlic. You even put cloves. We even put cloves in that. With paminta and there's another one. In Karkar, they put what they call pasyotes. That gives the Karkar lechon an edge over the others. Pasyotes, when I research about it, is a epazote, an herb from Mexico. So doon na tingali na saag na Mexican soldier na nakahug og da seeds dito, and now it's growing in the hillsides of Karkar. They put epazote. With our 5-hour slow roasting, those herbs inside the cavity have herbs and spices inside the cavity. They have enough time to flow into the flesh inside that pig. That's why our lechon or our inasal does not need any sauce like the ones in Luzon. They always have to have that liver sauce to make it taste something. Kita, mga iragid suka. Diba? So the herbs really help a lot and the spices help a lot in adding an extra kick to our cooking. But our favorites are the lemongrass, the tanglad, the sibuyas Bisaya or dahonan. Anyway, kanang sibuyas Bisaya nato, di abot sa Luzon, sibuyas Tagalog na siya. And then we garlic and then ginger, but most of all ginger. We love ginger. We put ginger in everything. We put ginger into puchero, we put ginger into our inununan, into our utan Bisaya, into our kinilaw, and even into putumaya. All of that has ginger. Because why? Why do you think we like ginger? Why? Because the number one quality of ginger is to remove unsavory taste or smell. Cebuanos are very particular about langsa, langto, langsik. They have so many terms for the bad taste in meat, in vegetables. So they put ginger because it removes the bad, that bad characteristic, the bad smell or the bad taste. So butangan gyud og kuan ginger haron to prevent, kay dili kay presko ang isda inununan man. Kay presko ang isda isugba or iprito. Pero og di na kay presko, ato na lang naununan. So you put ginger into it, di ba? The thrifty housewife will never throw away any fish maski dili na presko. Butangan lang og daghang dekado. That. See, that's the virtue of ginger, and the Cebuanos love ginger. If you notice, all our dishes, baklay, etc. So that's it.
Yes. I guess you brought the herbs with you. So may you show it to the
Here are
camera
some. Here are
one by one?
Yeah, you can
But then you
this.
can show also to the camera while
yeah.
it's not yet passed around. So please show and tell the ginger each
This is the ginger. Walay ko ano,
Luya.
walay sibuyas bisaya sa ubos. Wala. Muora ni ko ang DDO. And then the sibuyas and the sili, the kulikot. Now, the Cebuano cook, I think, is a very caring cook. In other places, when they use sili, they mash everything and put everything into the dish. Napunting hanga. If you notice, sa ato, mubutang og gamay nga sili. And then the rest of the sili will be placed in a separate container and placed beside the dish. So katong gustong mashang pagyud, ikaw na puno. But they think of the rest. Who might not like it too spicy or too halang, no? So the Cebuano cook not only cooks well, he also cares for people who will eat his dish.
Yes. Daghang salamat to Ms. Luella for showing to us the herbs and spices. May we show also pwede na i-show na lang ang mga spices that the Kapihan ni Lumaya use for our Cebuano dishes. So of course we would know that before the Spaniards came, or when the Spaniards came to the Visayas, they saw that when we eat, we always have tanglad and we also have ginger also served. So tanglad is used in cooking for soup and also other dishes. Do we have taste and tell also for the we have tilaw tagna later, but then we will be tasting the dishes. You will be tasting the dishes. Will they be tasting the herbs and spices and telling us, dili mo tilaw og sili? Dili. Hibaw-an na daan. Mutilaw ko no ang mga taga Bagong 𝗪𝗏𝗃𝗀 o La Liga reenactors they are so brave, they are warriors, so they would taste the chili, the sili. So we have also used at Kapihan ni Lumaya, rosemary. Asa tong rosemary? Laurel. Laurel, there was actually I saw a post by our anthropologist Professor Nestor Castro regarding bay leaf. Is it bay leaf? Is it laurel? Or is it dahon sa paminta? so we use star anise, onion, sibuyas, garlic, napakita na ang garlic, tanglad. Asa ang tanglad na to? So tanglad was used even in pre-colonial times, sili, and ginger. So ginger is very important for the Visayans. Kay Father Francisco Alcina described that there was ginger served on the table. So we would also like to show you the dishes using these spices. So we have this is not a Cebuano dish or lemongrass chicken. It's an Asian dish. So we have chicken, of course, our tinuang manok Bisaya. Asa mang lemongrass chicken na adya. We have lemongrass chicken. It has tanglad, but it also has ginger. And then, so we have lemongrass chicken na diha. Wala pa makitin. Giluto pa sa kusina. And we have tinuang manok Bisaya named in honor of Cebu hero Alejo Miñosa. So tinuang manok Bisaya, kapayas na siya or sayote. Wala na ko makiti ang manok. So it has also actually it's when we had guests from New York, New York-based journalists who were Tagalog and they tasted our tinuang manok Bisaya. They said it's very yummy. They can taste the ginger and the tanglad and also daghang kamunggay. So we have also our utan Bisaya. Humana nag-show ganina, no? Oh. And then also, we have also our Spanish chicken adobo that also has nanay ginger and daghang ginger. So Miss Luella had that last night. So let me show there. We had a guest before an American who stayed here for many months, and he said, "I can eat the Spanish chicken adobo every day. I can eat it every day. It's so yummy for him." Nawala naman makiti sa camera imong dish. So so we have can we have someone give him the dish so that dili ba pwede na dili mawagtang sa diha na lang ibutang ka sa kuan or unsa man ibutang na lang sa kuan ang camera would show the dish sa yes so unsa man na nakita ninyo so you will be tasting dishes in a while and then guessing the name of the dish and you will win exciting prizes. So we also have, so you have seen the Spanish chicken adobo with herbs and spices and also with saging. Saging, it has saging kardaban, no? And then we have also our inununan ni Tabal. It's named in honor of Rafael Tabal, the hero from Sudlon. So we have our inununan every day. This is served. And we have our linambunan nga isda ni Humabon. Linambunan, it's wrapped in banana leaves. It's the way of cooking that you wrap it before grilling it. So that's our linambunan ni Humabon. So now we would like to ask Miss Luella to tell us about again. So I would also like you to know that when my cousins who stayed in the US since they were 15 or 10 years old, they came here a month ago. They asked me for a whole lechon. So my sister ordered a whole lechon good for 30 people. There were just 6 people. We were so surprised that they were able to finish. We had also other dishes like we had kinilaw nga isda, we had calamares, we had unsa pa to tong mga giluto adto? Daghan to nga sinog, we had sinog bang isda? No, we had humba. Did we have humba? My cousins came here. They stayed in the US and they wanted to taste the authentic Cebuano dish. Authentic Cebu. They termed it that the authentic Cebuano dishes. So tinuwang isda, tinuwang manok Bisaya, and they like it so much. And they finished everything. They had the whole lechon. And they said, the whole lechon. They finished, they said, we are so surprised. We devoured the whole lechon. We haven't tasted this lechon as yummy as this. We don't have this kind of lechon in the US. They finished everything and they still ordered puto maya, mangga, and sikwati after that. They were so hungry for Cebuano food. So now we would like to ask food historian Miss Luella to tell us about the difference between sinugba and inasal in Cebuano cuisine.
Yeah, actually, I started talking about that earlier, when I interrupted Richard. Sorry, Richard. I kind of considered this as, like a conversation. The thing, but it's not like a very formal panel discussion, but it is like a conversation. So it's a sharing of what we know and what we want you to know, no? So I started talking about the difference earlier of the sinugba and the inasal. Tusugba is basically to cook over live coals, diba? Isugba. But when you say sugba, you only sugba or cook over live coals pieces of meat or uh, parts of an animal, like the leg of the chicken, ang petso, ang paa, or a small fish. A small fish, dili man ani mo kay it's too small to be cold in asal. No? But the root word for the other one for cooking a whole thing over live coals is asal. To asal is to roast a whole animal. So tibuok na baboy, tibuok na manok, tibuok na baka, tibuok na kaning. Inasal gyud na sila. Oo. That's why as I said earlier, um, I'm so sad that we have succumbed to the lechon of the Tagalogs. Pero be that as it may. Oh, lechon. But the Cebuanos, by the way, this is to add to Richard's lami. No, what is lami for Cebuanos? You notice that we have preferences, like we want our soup clear. You notice that our tinoa is clear. You can see the chicken, you can see the spices or the herbs in it. Kita ka hain ang sibuyas bisaya di ang dahon, hain ang luya. But we can see through because it's a clear broth. Even our utan bisaya it has a clear broth. Not like the ones in the northern part of the country na, they put the una of the bagoong into it. So murky ang ilang sabaw. Dili ang sa ato, if you notice, dili man murky. Kaya ang atong ginamos, you place it on a side dish. You add it to your plate. Dili nimo isawsaw murag isagol into the sabaw or the utan. It is still giving way to what is nice for an individual. So ikaw gusto kag parat, then you add more salt, you add more ginamos into your food. But basically, that utan bisaya will have a clear broth. Makit-an nimo hain ang agbati, hain ang pisi sa taong, sa gabi, sa kanang okra, makit-an gyud nimo. Dili na siya matago in a murky stew. That's a preference, I think. The unconscious preference for clear soups. Plus, dili ta gusto og sabaw nga aslum. We like inununan. We like everything aslum as it should be. But when it comes, not for the soup. That's why sinigang is a very, Tagalog thing. It's a very, sana siya, it's a learned thing if you like sinigang. Because the ordinary Cebuano, acquired taste, the ordinary Cebuano, unsa man inyong sabaw, inununan? Basta mo aslom na. I would hear the old folks say that. Kaslom ba ani sa inyong gibutang? Ngano? Sabaw pa ba ni ununan? There's the comment, no? And the third is we do not like lagsa. We do not like the unpleasant taste or smell of animal or plants, no? Dili ta gusto lang sa isda. As my lola would say, ugway preskong isda, nganong magkinilaw man. See? It's like living, it's like living with the seasons. Nganong mangita man yung kag mangga, o dili panahon sa mangga. Be? Kay dili tamis ang mangga nga ni hinog or nitubo out of season. Always the fruits and the vegetables that come to us should be within the season that it's supposed to be. Kaya it is when it is the best tasting, the sweetest. I think our old folks know that because if you have talked to your lolas and your aunties, you would know na, mo yun na. So what is lami for Cebuanos has all those characteristics.
Daghang salamat, Ms. Luella. So now you know what is the difference between inasal ug sinugba. What is the term used for the one with the whole animal? It's not part of our trivia quest. We also have trivia quest with exciting prizes in a while. Aside from the tilaw tagna, you would also do we have the taste and tell as we go along or later na lang? Later na lang, usahon na lang. Usahon kay aron ang pag-time kuan gyud klaro. So you take note of the discussion of our resource persons because we also have a trivia quest with exciting prizes in in a while. So we have learned about what do Cebuanos consider as lami, the clear soup, the dili langsa. It's not langsa. It doesn't taste odd or something. And so we would now like, so that's about the authentic what is. So we would like to show you the sinugbang baboy. Do we have sinugbang baboy? We have sinugbang baboy ni Luis Flores, named in honor of hero Luis Flores, who was the leader of the revolutionary organization in Cebu against Spain in 1898. So we want you to take lami ni. This is the favorite of Chef Richard Howe. When he comes to Pamgras, Kapihan ni Lumaya, this is his favorite, one of his favorite dishes. It's sinugbang baboy named in honor of Katipunero or the leader of 1898 Cebu Revolution, Luis Flores. So you should remember that. So I would like to ask Chef Mark if he knows. Mag-exam man ni sila. Actually, the staff has an exam to say what are the names of heroes. Like we are in Hawanan 3 de Abril. Do you know what is 3 de Abril? Oh, ulihan na lang. So actually, the staff has also has exams regarding Cebu history because we name our different areas at Pamgras in honor of heroes, and we also name our dishes, our signature dishes and signature Cebuano dishes and drinks in honor of heroes. So we also have chicken barbecue. This doesn't have a name yet. Kuan na siya in the process of kuan, but this is also a best seller dish because Cebuanos are really like barbecue, right? So you would see barbecue stands anywhere in all corners when the night when the day when the sun sets, all the all those barbecue stands would come out. Bisag di pa gani gabi, no? Even in the afternoon, late afternoon, you already have barbecue. So this is one of the is that chicken barbecue? Chicken barbecue, and then we also have sinugbang isda ni Alinyo. So Alinyo was one of those leaders of the Katipunan of the revolution, especially in Talisay. And sinugbang isda and sinugbang baboy were also served in pre-colonial Cebu. The Spaniards saw that the Cebuanos were eating, or the Visayans were eating roasted chicken, roasted pork and roasted fish. So those are served in pre-colonial time. So if it's roasted, it's not deep fried, it's still healthy. But then, where did we learn deep frying? We would ask our resource persons later. And so I guess the Spaniards. And so we also have pork barbecue. So pork barbecue, the difference with the barbecue is we already use our bamboo sticks, our bamboo sticks. So is this also another subversion? Or it's a traditional way of cooking, the different way of cooking, like tinapanan, right? We also put bamboo stick on the fish and it now becomes tinapanan, and pork it becomes barbecue. Unsa man gyud na sinugba ra gyapon na when you translate it into Bisaya, it's still sinugba but on a stick. Kay ang isda kay tinapanan naman when it's in a stick, it become pernaga po sinugba gyapon at tinapanan is smoked. it's different. Our resource persons want already to interact. So we also have our inasal belly. Miss Luella doesn't want lechon as a term. So inasal belly. Inasal belly. So we have this we started serving this. So this has rose nanay anise, star anise, other herbs in our lechon belly. My cousins also 2 years ago when they came here, they ordered lechon belly instead of who wants to taste the inasal belly. So, and then we also have inasal nga manok. So when we usually hear the word chicken inasal, it's still on a stick, right? With just parts in other parts of the Visayas. But we actually, our name for this is lechon manok because it's how people usually commonly say it. But now we hear from Miss Luella that it shouldn't be called lechon manok. It should be inasal nga manok for the Cebuanos. So, and then let's confuse the kids, Dana. Because the kids would know inasal as only part of the chicken right now because it's in the, is it Iloilo? Ilonggo inasal. So we would also now like, so later we would go back to our desserts because they still want to show the desserts, and then so that has Spanish influence. So we will show it lang karon or later na lang, later. So now we would like to ask Miss Luella again because she already mentioned this, or to reiterate, for you, are there authentic Cebuano dishes?
By authentic, I think we mean dishes that are dear to Cebuanos' hearts. Kanang naandan na nato nga pagkaon ba, di ba? Yes, like when 𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗃 wrote about pre-colonial food. Thanks to 𝗵𝗃𝗃, you really have a lot to thank Antonio 𝗵𝗃𝗃 for being the usisero, for being the chismoso that he was, and writing everything down, no, like parts of the body, the anatomy of the person. So he wrote everything down, and gladly he wrote about the food that was served them. So since these are pre-colonial food, so that means this is what our ancestors ate, no? Oh, what was served them? Roasted pork. So, sinugba nga baboy. And you still find it now, di ba? And then they were served a broth made from pork again. That would be in our terms now linatan nga baboy, no? And then ingon siya, and then they ate their fish raw. So isn't that a short description for kinilaw? Yan gikaon nga raw. What he did not say was that fish was cooked with vinegar, and it had spices, and that it had coconut milk. Because that's how we serve our so for example, what's an authentic Cebuano kinilaw? It has everything all the other provinces has in its kinilaw. Sibuyas Bisaya, ginger, tomatoes, and sili, no? Then it has vinegar, of course. What makes it Cebuano is that the Cebuanos, before serving, will add the thick cream of the coconut. Kana bang first pressing, kita ramay mo butang o kuan. Kita ray mo butang o espeso nga tuno sa atong kinilaw. It makes our kinilaw not just sour and salty. The coconut adds a little sweetness to it. That's why I used to say that if you learn to make kinilaw in its exact proportions, it should taste like a first kiss. Sorry.
Kuyawan ka.
So authentic gani, I think the term there is it common to most Cebuanos? So you see what is a common among all of us. We like tinoa with ginger again and all the herbs that we place in that. We like kinilaw. We like sinugba, and we love inasal. Those are authentic, meaning uh, it shows who we are too, no? Because Cebuanos are a little salty, a little fiery, but mostly sweet, di ba? It shows who we are. The food that we like shows who we are, and it is. I love to say that Cebuanos are so near to nature that we want our food with the less intervention. Kaya ka ng pagbutang og sarsa, we learned that from the Spaniards. We learned to add tomato sauce and all that. We learned how to gisal. Kanang the word gisar, that's gisal. Di man ta ka mo gisal niya ito. Abot ra man ang pabukalan tanan. No? Put it in water or sugba. But with the Spaniards, we learned to gisal. From the Chinese, we learned to fry. Believe it or not, we learned to fry from the Chinese. Of course, as Richard says, we learned to deep fry when the Americans came. And then, yeah, and we learned, but with Americans, we learned how to cook scientifically. Now, no more hit or miss, because everything was done with precision. Na naman tayo cups, measuring cups, measuring spoons, and writing that. Oh, but we wrote our recipes too. It's just that kanang usa ka pudyot ba? Oo. Remember before, it was so hard to remember because when your lola will teach you how to cook, yun siya, kanang usa ka pudyot ana, niya usa ka kusi ana. Anymore. So it's so difficult to quantify. Munang maglain-lain gyud ang taste ug lain-lain ang muluto kay dako di ang kamot ni ano usa ka hakop. Nya dako ni ang kamot, dako kay ang hakop ni sobra na ang asukar. See? This good. So that's how it is. When you think of authenticity in our cooking, you think of those things. Are these common to us? Am I speaking from a Cebuano heart?
So, dahil salamat, Ms. Lawela, for describing that our food is just like us, sweet but fiery and salty. And fresh and raw. So, Ferdy Aparticio from Taguig City and Patero says, nakakagutom. Nagutom na siya. And then, another Ferdinand says, online and on-site, ginger, if I'm not mistaken, is mentioned by Pigafetta along with the abundance of gold when they passed by Panilungon. So to know more about the Visayan food or the food that was discovered by Pigafetta and Magellan in the Visayas or in our archipelago, we have this Pigafetta's Philippine Picnic. This is available at our basahanan named in honor also of Lumaya, because before the pandemic you can actually read there was actually a card that you get a prize when you read books. So you if you read many books, you will get a prize after how many books you have read. So before the pandemic happened, we restricted the books. So this is by Feliz Prudente Santa Maria. This is published by the National Historical Commission of the Philippines. So barato rin nga book, no? Oh, barato rin siya. So we have also an interaction. We have from Ellen of the tour guides. There is a question already. Is there any particular dish that uses kaningag or cinnamon in our Cebu culinary, since it's endemic to Cebu even before Spanish period? We have kaningag plant in Fort San Pedro until today. So does anyone want to answer this? Kaningag, cinnamon, the local
Yes,
cinnamon.
we have local cinnamon. Yes.
Yes, what dish Will you also show Chef Richard, both of them? What dishes use this native cinnamon?
We usually put cinnamon in sarsiado. That's because we learned it from the Spaniards. We just discovered that we have canela or cinnamon lately, no? But I think the use of that has not been widely spread among us. Oo. We just learned about that when the Spaniards started cooking with it. Kanang mga mechado nila has the Spanish mechado has cinnamon. So I think when they look for herbs and spices here, they found that we really have a native one. I have one growing in my backyard.
Yeah, so we would also like to show you more dishes from Kapihan ni Lumaya, and these are the dishes, the Cebuano dishes. Di na ni humanap din na show ning uban, no? So the dishes that has the dessert, some desserts, only a few. That, for example, the tablia. Well, yesterday Miss Luella was taking the having snacks here during our preparation with Sikwati, and she mentioned that tablia actually has chemicals. The cacao has chemicals, just like love chemicals. You fall in it, the feeling of taking tablia or chocolate or cacao or Sikwati. It's just like falling in love. You get the feeling of falling in love. So may we show our tablia cake? So, and sikwati. So we have tablia cake, and also kana siya kay smaller version na siya. It's just for this. So actually our tablia cake is big, ang slice is big. So it's made from pure tablia. And also this was the recipe of my aunt, and then but improved also by Kapihan ni Lumaya pastry chefs. And also we have also this pastry, also bestseller, our yema cake. Naan pa yema cake? Wala na serve. So the yema cake, so usually we have yema, or the yema cake has, the yema has eggs, right? Because of the history that it was the egg yolk is separated from the egg white in building the churches. They used the egg white in building the stone churches. That's why they had to make use. So we have our brazo de Mercedes. Maybe show it. So the brazo de Mercedes is also a bestseller pastry at Kapihan ni Lumaya, because they say it's not. Chef Richard says it's not very sweet. That's why he likes this version of the brazo de Mercedes at Kapihan ni Lumaya. So kaya si Chef Richard sa Kapihan ni Lumaya. So of course another we have our kapima is. And also we have our humba, influenced by the Chinese, and also the humba ni Maxilom, named in honor of the leader of the Cebu Revolution against Spain, Arcadio Maxilom, General Maxilom, who led the Cebu Revolution to victory, because our humba is as yummy as the victory, as the freedom, and it goes through a long process. It's not instant. You don't have humba that is instant. So it should be simmered, and so it would get soft, and then you get the combination of the flavors of the sweet and the salt and everything that makes it yummy. So like our freedom from Spain. So we have also our kapima is frap, but we don't have it here. Actually it's not listed. Not there. We have the kapima is, but we made a frap out of it. So it's the calf frap. So we have a kapima is frap. If you don't want espresso on your frap, so we have kapima is frap. So, but it's from kapima is. We will show you the video later after this. So, nag-snacks na mo? Unsay snacks na to? Ay, bingka di ay? Sa torta na, bingka. Rice kina nga bingka? Oh. May liki. Nganong kinahanglan na ay liki ang bingka? So 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 we have our bingka. So right now, so we have our chefs really tried to follow the bingka sa Mandaue. We don't know if they're successful. So now we would like to have Chef Richard tell us about why why do you say that Cebuano taste buds are self-directed?
Okay.
Self-directed.
Not covered in the camera is our my fruitful conversation with once again the culinary icon, Madam Luella Alex. And I would like to add, ma'am, that since nigawas man tong bamboo sa sinugba, I think the purpose of adding, skewering the meat in bamboo, which is not found during the earlier times, is for hygienic purposes. And aside from that, it's also for, for aesthetic. And let me also add that aside from the many exact science, culinary science that was brought by the Americans to the Filipinos, one thing that we've inherited is also the practice of food safety. They are actually the ones who actually introduced food safety, the simplest food safety. Now, I was so interested sa imong discussion regarding the tinula because I agree with you. Our tinula in Cebu is clear broth. Now, in my province in Masbate, our tinola is always sour. We prefer sour tinola, but in Cebu, it's not. Eh, it's the batuan. I have frozen batuan at home actually. Kaya when I crave the memories of my food in Masbate, I usually take out from the ref. I'm also fortunate that I have a student who is from Masbate right now. Thank you to Mr. Andujar who keeps me a steady. He gives me. I can give you. I can give you. I can give you fresh batuan. I will just message you if mo abot na. It's fresh. Di ba, ma'am? Okay, it's the bigger one, not the smaller one. In the lechon. Yeah. It's even there ay ilang stew, putangan nila batuan. Now, in Masbate, we have a particular way of cooking the tinola. That's the reason why our broth there is not as clear as in Cebu. We oftentimes mash the tomato, so making the water, marking the water, and then before we add the rest of the ingredients, we mash the batuan together with the tomato. That's why it's not as clear. And then we often prepare sour because of the batuan, not calamansi, batuan. It gives a certain kick. It kills all the lansa. Okay. So and going back to the earlier question, what makes the Cebuano palate or taste buds lami is that the Cebuano taste bud is self-directed. When you're talking about self-directed, nobody can tell us or can dictate to us that you should like the fast food because that's the only thing available in the city. No, we do not do that. If we tasted something to our liking, we normally find time, we normally Google, we normally oftentimes travel in the entire Cebu province just to taste that particular dish. I gave you one example. The manok bisaya of Tuburan, in which they add a chete. When I first heard of that dish, I really traveled to Tuburan to experience it firsthand. So that we're self-directed. We are not hostage by anybody's preference but ours. And di ba, ma'am, during our activity or event together with Ma'am Chef Sweetie, we created something new out of, just the memory that we have. Another thing that makes the Cebuano uh, taste buds lami is that it's a combination or an inspiration between traditional chefs and, you know, mga newcomer, mga young or aspiring chefs. They are no longer shy in creating their own dish. They do not follow recipe anymore. And I think that's a good thing. It gives vibrancy. It gives originality to our dish. So I think that's why our taste is our Cebuano taste buds is very very lami. Di ba? When we created it in Ansani, walay ngalan. Out of the blue, we just conceptualize, we'll be using this ingredient. We need to find this, and then it's going to be good. I was so impressed with your that's lato salad, no? In which, a gusto salad, in which you actually added, uh, no, you added green mango nga finely chopped. So that's what makes sure lato gusto really quite unique and at the same time very delicious. The reason why I also said it's self-directed because we follow our senses. Nobody can tell us that your food, you're lacking one ingredient. You need to add this. No, this is my interpretation. I have been tasting this in my memory. I've been tasting this in my dish and I find it lami. So ayaw pang hilabot.
So, daghang salamat, Chef Richard. Naay kaugalingong buot. Naay ang kaugalingong buot ang sa mga Cebuano nga taste buds. Why magbuot? so, so, sabi na in Tagalog or in English, no one will direct you. Pero mas lindot siya diingnon, why magbuot? Mao ni akong lami. Mao ni akong lami. Mao ni akong pagluto aning humba na ay sangig. Why magbuot? Butagan ako og coconut napanay ko, walay mabutang sa dno og cream. Ang mga nagsisig, ha? Sa humba? Sa masbate, they would add cream. Coconut milk on humba. So, in masbate, they put coconut milk. Sa mga Bisaya, mao na siya. Why magbuot? Kay mo ni lami para ako. so, we would show you more. Napay dish diha wala pa ba show? So now we would also like you to know that we would also like to ask Chef Richard how. So we have open forum in a while. We have asked naman to si Professor Roxanne who would share with us his study about the gastronomic. He has actually a study from the De La Salle. He has a study about gastronomy in the Philippines. So he would share something. He would react later, and then so we would like to ask Chef Richard regarding. So after this, you would also ask Miss Luella regarding the method of cooking in pre-colonial times later. So we would like to ask Chef Richard to elaborate on how the Cebuano taste buds, aside from being self-directed, are a melange of flavors from traditional chefs and aspiring young chefs.
Okay, as I've mentioned earlier, the good thing about the Cebuano cuisine is it's already a melange or a collection or a contribution among traditional chefs and aspiring chefs. As what I have mentioned during our event, murag nag-collaborate ang mga tiguang, apil ko ana, tiguang naman ko, and the young chefs. And they're very proud of their creation. In fact, earlier gipakita na ko ang photo sa usa nako ka estudyante. I will mention his name, si Mr. Mayol, who is also from Bourbon, whose love for something local culminates in his creation of the takyong. Kaya naara daw na sa ilang backyard ang punuan anang takyong. Oftentimes mauna ilang isudan kung medyo ngihit ang isda sa merkado. So that's one case in point. The collaboration. There should be no Cebuano food or Cebuano taste, but there should be no conflict between what food tastes better. Is this from this chef or from this another chef? There should be no, how do you call that? There should be no rivalry, but rather collaboration. Because in collaboration, the rest of the community also benefits. Di ba? Kung naimangayo sa mga utana giun sa pag-prepare, ayaw sekreto-sekreto. Kay sa kadagag sa internet karon na pa bay sekreto? Oh yeah, true. Because if you are contented with keeping it a secret, your dish is not actually perfect. Yeah, true. That's why teach, share. That will make the recipe more, you know, dynamic, more alive. And the scene now in Cebu is that in the entire Cebu province that you will see mga food business run by young chefs, and at the same time also food business run by traditional chefs, and they are actually in collaboration with one another. They inherit the best part of what culinary is supposed to be. Diba? Collaboration.
Daghang salamat, Chef Richard, and stay tuned for the interaction by our researcher on the gastronomy in the Philippines. So he's also a public health expert and the executive director of the Yandi Heritage Center. So we would call later in a while instruct lecturer from the University of the Philippines, Cebu, who was also our resource person in 𝗖𝗵𝗲𝗳𝗂𝗃 the sexual restriction. So Roxanne knows everything lami from food to iyot. So we would have him in a while so to react. And so we have did you watch our February 14 exciting Valentine event about 𝗖𝗵𝗲𝗃? You should watch it. It's actually still on Facebook videos, the Facebook videos of Bangras, and also at the YouTube of Bangras Cebu Heritage Hotel. We tried to boost it, and Facebook says adult content. No, it can't. It can't be promoted. It's an adult content. so, so the adults only. So, at what age do the children have sex education? In pre-colonial Cebu, 6 years old. So in pre-colonial Cebu, the girls as young as 6 years old already had sex education. So right now, it's still on the videos at Pamgrass, but we cannot promote it to have more viewers. So you can just search for it because Facebook doesn't allow it to be promoted. They want to promote Iyot Ugubat in pre-colonial times of Cebu. So anyway, si Jomar wants to answer that sugba is grill and asal is the roast. Murag, ink. Murag, kung trivia quiz pa to, wrong na ka. Kayo, you did not listen that it's about the parts of the of the animal. So for food historian Miss Luella, the roast or the inasal and the sugba refers to which part of the body which part of the animal is being pwede sa the animal or plant, pwede ka magsugba ka og talong, di ba? Pwede sad ka mag-asal og talong, di pwede animal or gud ay. Di pwede aslon ang talong sugbaon ra gyud. So it should be an animal. Kung ang tao pwede isugba, pwede figuratively, pwede ka isugba sa kayo, mura ka gisugba sa kayo when you are stressed, right? Or giasal ka, the whole person. So if you are stressed, we have figures of speech that refer to food, di ba? Okay, we like food, we refer to our feelings like food, like when lami siya mahigugma. So so lami gyapon. So anyway, so we have this question. So we would be telling you about our launching also of our new set of meals, Basta Bisaya Lami. So later, after this, so we have actually bahog-bahog sets where we have the sinugba, we have the humba in those sets. So we have new sets of food, we have new dishes, Cebuano dishes that we added to our menu. And then we have a set menu named Basta Bisaya Lami because last year when we had we had conversations and a food event with Chef Richard about Basta Bisaya Lami, it was the most attended because he required all his students to join. At that time, it was online and off and on-site and online. So it's the most well-attended, most with most views. It was the event with most views. So ganahan, and then especially that the youth, the young people really likes to tell us what is lami for them. They would say at that time they would say that bahalag ang lami kay mura kag naa sa langit. It's just like you're in heaven. Bahalag mamatay basta makatila og lami. They said that bahalag mamatay basta makatilaw og lami. And how do you say that in English? It's okay to die as long as mas lami gid pisulting Bisaya, no? Bahalag mamatay. It's okay that I would die as long as I would taste heaven in the food. And then, bahalag mamatay. Kay basta heaven on earth. Heaven on earth. Bahalag mamatay. So, stay tuned for the trivia quiz with exciting prizes and that exciting tilaw tagna. You will be blindfolded and you will taste the food and you guess the food. You get the food and then also you would win another prize. So we would like to ask for our final question for our panelist, our resource person. You would like to ask the author of this book, Hikay, the Culinary Heritage of this coffee table book, Hikay, the Culinary Heritage of Cebu, food historian Miss Luella, to tell us about the pre-colonial, the method of cooking in ancient times in Cebu or in the Visayas, or in Cebu, the the pre-colonial method of cooking. Maybe have Miss Luella. Wala mabalhin ang camera. So,
As long as you can hear me, it's okay, di ba? You don't have to look at me. It's not much beauty to look at. So okay lang akong tingog. Well,
so
this one, I'd like to put more, asan siya na? More history and what else into this, no? Because pre-colonial Cebuanos, I knew how to first, no? Because when man started, yeah, before mankind did not know how to cook. They would just capture an animal and eat it raw. They forage in the forest and eat berries and eat fruits raw, of course, no? Because they didn't know fire yet. So when they discovered fire accidentally, siguro nalabay na piece of meat into the fire, oh, that one smelled good. Di ba? It smelled good. So why don't we do it again? I think that's how we discovered fire and cooking on fire. No? But after millennia, they had to think of, how to cook with liquids. But that is, so the equivalent of that for us is eating kinilaw. You can say that we started maybe with eating things raw, and that's proof of that is that we have kinilaw, no? And then afterwards, we learned to sugba. So from kinilaw, mo jump na ta sa sinugba. But from kinilaw to sinugba, murag dali-dali ra na siya. Kaya naka-invent naman og fire. Then came the problem of cooking with liquids. And maybe the man started using leather from the animals that they caught. But then after a while, the leather would be eaten by the fire. Maluto man sad ang leather, no? So, di inasad mahimog dugay. And then, I'm sure in the Philippines, we used bamboo poles. They can ang bamboo, and then you can put liquid in it. But then, how many times can you use a bamboo for cooking? Once, twice. Once. Labi nagbukon, di ba? So, no more na. The next time, it is going to be used as sugnod already, no? So, it took a while for mankind to discover how to make clay pots. I always tell people I know na, like my children or my grandchildren, you should respect the presence of clay pots. Because from roasting to using a clay pot for cooking is a jump in technology. Technology to form a pot out of raw clay, out of clay, and then they discovered maybe na when they cook with it, mabuak man di ay no. So it needed to be baked. The form is there, but it needed to be baked. I think it took us a while to think na, oh, i-bake pa din kung saan nato magamit. So it's really a big jump in technology to do that. And I was so amazed when 𝗍𝗶𝗆 had this digging in San Remigio. It they dug up big jars where they were used as secondary burials. That means they have a culture already that made them bury their dead, and then after a few years, remove the bones and put them into clay jars. So mas doon na naging culture na ay sophistication na ba, di ba? And then they found clay pots with food in it. So kamo na sila muluto, kina naman sila jars, di ba? The thing is, when they had those sherds sent to the US for carbon dating, they found out that those were from the Iron Age. How long ago was that? Well, that is before pa the Bronze Age. So for millennia, you can imagine, the implication of that is that there was a civilization in Cebu, in the island of Cebu, as early as the Iron Age. Dili ita bagong kanang butho sa kalibutan. Dugay na ta. The Cebuanos have been here with evidence since the Iron Age, and we had a civilization that had a technology which knew how to make clay pots, how to make jars, big jars for secondary burials, which also shows a lot of culture. Diba? That's the best news that I think that comes from the discovery that we had jars and clay pots at that time. Now, the third one, the third cooking method then is, more importantly, the making of soups or tinuwa or linatan. No? So those three basic cooking methods were the ones that the Spaniards got when they came here. People would say that the Chinese were here first. But no, they did not have that much influence on us because they really did not invade us. The Chinese just came here to trade and then they left. Mga nila sila para mamaligya, mulakaw. But then that came later na during the Spanish era. Because before, those jars, Chinese jars that you find here now as antiques, were brought here not by the Chinese, gani, but brought here by the Malaysians, by the people from Borneo. So, na-asya ka ng intermediary ba? The Chinese actually were very active here when the Spaniards were here na. So, sayop ang akong gisulti, you should read it because you should read about what's currently found in history, because that means I made a mistake, because I said that in Hikay, I said that our first foreign influence, the first foreign influence in our cooking was Chinese. No. So I was wrong. And I have to correct myself because they were not here first. They just came here to trade. My God, they did not stay like the Spaniards or the Americans or the other countries just visited us too. There were no invasions by the Indonesians. There were no occupations by the Malaysians here. They just visited. Dili ganito mao nga kita are made up of people from Indonesia and Malaysia. No, The diaspora came from us. We were the ones who went out in our dugout canoes, in our big, because we're boat builders. So we were the ones who went out to other places. We were not occupied by other people. From the Iron Age, there were Cebuanos here with a society, with their own culture. Dinhi na ta, dugay na ta, ang taga-Cebu lumad sa isla, sa Cebu. That's it.
Daghang salamat, Ms. Luella. So actually, so when we see right now, sutukil, sugbatuwa kilaw, it's not actually a modern thing. It is an ancient thing. Before the Spaniards came, the Cebuanos already were shoot to kill. So sugba, tuwa, and kinilaw or kilaw. We already ate the roasted or sinugba, grilled, and then also the kinilaw, the raw, and the tinua, the soup. And then usually it's clear soup. But they could also have coconut milk in the soup, maybe. Yes. So Raul said heading to Palmgrass. Good PM. Raul is now here, our history graduate from the University of San Carlos. Daghang salamat for joining us. And also, we would now like to ask to prepare you to give your reactions if you want to go to our microphones. And now we would like to call before we would show our Basta Bisaya Lami. So we would now like to have our lecturer from the University of the Philippines, Cebu, and who is also a public health expert. He is taking up his doctoral in public health in De La Salle University, and he has a study on Philippine gastronomy. So pila na ka minutes? 5 minutes lang? 1 minute per day. So we have Roxanne Duron, our resource person, also last February 14.
No, I'm glad that Palmgrass is again hosting a forum related to food. No, so basically there's a problem in the Philippines related to the gastronomy industry. No, unlike in other areas in Southeast Asia like Indonesia, wherein we are very conscious about culinary heritage. No, in other parts of Southeast Asia like Thailand, in near China, Hong Kong, China, Singapore, they're also very much familiar with culinary tourism. Now, the objective of the study, which we conducted, what we call anong tawag ani sa kanang public dissemination, no? Last February 11 in De La Salle University is that sa pag-prioritize o paghatag emphasis sa food, gastronomy, or culinary arts in the Philippines. The more nga naay forum related sa food, the more nga naay forum related sa pag-promote sa mga books related sa food, mas matagaan siya emphasis, no? Ingon ana siya. So, kita wa patakibaw like during the forum patakibaw kung unsa mo gitong ganahan, culinary tourism or culinary heritage or ang kaniyong duha, di ba? So that's why ang kato mga researchers which I am proud no kay part ko ato daghan man gud mi no kanang nag-promote o nag-propose nga kanang gastronomy framework no gikan sa gastronomy concept sa Indonesia. Naman sila ubod framework no na ditong triangle nila ng food sa ubos na culture tapos sa pika side na ang history. Sa tuwa na gi-propose nga kanang hapag kainan framework. So katong tulog ipunan siya usa sustainability inana. So hapag kainan lamisa, di ba? So upat ka buok iyang tiil, so mo nang food, culture, heritage, sustainability, and then the history ingon ana. So we hope because it was a government funded project, no? by the National Commission for Culture and the Arts and funded as well by the Creative Economy Council of the Philippines no nya gi-implement sa De La Salle University Center for Business Research no ingon ana siya. So we hope kung nanatong document and then I can ask or we can request no that yeah a copy para mas studyhan pod. Unfortunately, ang Cebu wa na include no sa studies sa food, sa gastronomy. Ang sa Visayas gipili ang Iloilo no. Ang sa Mindanao ang Tagum, and in Luzon there are two areas no, Manila and in Angeles in Pampanga.
So who chose the places?
Well, damo gyud na mga criteria, right? No, namo gyud na siya mga criteria.
So what was why was Iloilo chosen?
Well,
Because of the batchoy?
not necessarily, no. Yeah, well, actually, for the benefit of all, Iloilo applied for UNESCO Gastronomy City, no? So, wala lang sila na-approve during their first application, but we hope that the study will benefit or will greatly improve their application for the Philippines City of Gastronomy. I think no other cities applied for that, no? Except Iloilo. I don't know with Angeles City and Pampanga.
Okay, daghang salamat.
Yeah, so mao to atong kuwang is documentation. So this forum is actually a documentation as well, no? Yeah, we hope nga maka-contribute ni siya sa pag-awaken sa importance sa food sa atong tourism and heritage.
So daghang salamat Roxanne. So thank you for sharing with us that you have this study on Philippine gastronomy. And for letting us know that Cebu did not apply for a gastronomic city, but we already are already design city, a UNESCO design city or something. So we are something about design in Cebu. So I guess Chef Richard would like to react to that sharing by Roxanne.
It's just a a very simple observation that when I'm handling research, one of the problem or challenges that oftentimes will come out of a research subject is the proper documentation and preservation. I think siguro ang Iloilo was brave enough to apply because they had previous documentation to anchor, to anchor the study with. Sa Cebu, I think we lack the likes of Madam Luella Alex who rigorously document. So, yeah, siguro dapat more, patriotic culinarians should start documenting.
Yes.
Usually, I'm not only allocating it or how do you call that? Reserving it to culinary, but also proper documentation when it comes to the all facets of tourism. We lack documentation, and because of that, what was the cause of this lacking in documentation? In my encounter with the LGU, it's oftentimes politics.
Daghang salamat, Chef Richard. So, we now are waiting for your vlog. Aside from that, your book on culinary heritage of the Visayas. so are you registered already to join the Basta Tilaw Tagna Guess and Out Taste and Tell? Nag-sign up na sila for joining this contest. So now we would like to show you you have already seen our set meals like Pamilya set meals at Pamgras. We have the bahog-bahog ni Lumaya. We have this budol fight with humba, pansit, etc. We have this birthday blowout, really big bahog-bahog or budol fight with seafood and others. And then we have this bahog-bahog ni Humabon with inasal nga manok. Ay dito sinugbang manok on a stick. Okay, because it's just part of a manok. It's half chicken, and then also the grilled pork with the kamatis is also grilled. So sinugbang kamatis ra gyud to, di gyud to inasal nga kamatis. Even it's a whole kamatis, You cannot, the kamatis cannot qualify to become an inasal because it is a plant. Only the animals can qualify to be inasal. Sinugba ra gyud. So we have our Basta Bisaya Lami set. So the ones at Kapihan ni Lumaya conceptualize having this, that they want to add, actually this is a new dish at Palmgrass. We don't have this in the past kay dugay kaayo maluto. So now we have balbacoa. We have balbacoa. What's the influence of this? Is this already, balbacoa is from beef, right? So actually they thought of kare-kare, but they said, I said kare-kare is not Bisaya, it's basta Bisaya lami. So hala, lahi lagi ni siya, kare-kare na balbacoa. Murag kare-kare gid no. So it's a choice between kare-kare and balbacoa. So lahi gid na ang balbacoa, naglutaw gid na siya sa sabaw. Ang kana kare-kare na siya, ingon sila balbacoa na. Balbacoa nga way sabaw. It's the version. Okay, imo man sad na. Self-directed man ang Bisaya, ang Cebuano nga dish. Why magbuot kung una kong balbacoa? So, it should be in a bowl. So, for me, so wala na. Wa pa ko katilaw, anak. Kay first time pa na ako nakita. So, I usually taste the dish before it comes out. It's a new dish, the balbacoa. And then we also have a choice of balbacoa or kare-kare. Nasa kare-kare diya, Chris? So that's muna ang kare-kare. That's the kare-kare. So it's a choice between balbacoa, which is really Bisaya, and the kare-kare ngagi Bisaya. And then we have the bami. So bami is really Bisaya. Okay, where else do you find pansit? It's Bisaya. It's Cebuano, where you usa ganina sa vermicelli noodles and with egg noodles. So it's mixed. So this is named, our bami is named in honor of Chinese nga who was a revolutionary against Spain in Cebu. Got married to a Cebuana, a sister of Francisco Llamas. You've heard 𝗱𝗏𝗺𝗪 Street. His sister got married to this rich Chinese of the Gremio de Chino, Lucio Herrera. He became the treasurer of war of the revolution against Spain, even if he was insect. So, and he fought against the Spaniards. So, we also have our escabeche, our version of fish fillet with sweet and sour. So, it's the basta sweet and sour. Yeah, actually, they named it sweet and sour. Ang Bisaya sa sweet and sour nga fish kay escabeche man. So it's our fish fillet escabeche. And we also have our crispy nga tangkong. Kay pangkuan ko no, side dish. Pang side dish, so crispy nga tangkong man gid na sa ato. Unsa kay na sa in English? Kangkong in Tagalog. Morning. Is that water spinach? Lahi sad na. Swamp cabbage. Swamp cabbage. So thank you for those. So this is our, how much is it? So it's supposedly it's bigger than that. It's the serving is, the portion is bigger than that. How much is the whole set? It's good for how many, Chris? 2 to 3 niya, how much? Wala pa price? Pila? 2,000 di ay. So good for 2 to 3. Kung 3 mo, so you will divide it among yourselves. So it also has rice. Is it only rice? Ha? Platter. Good for 3. So mga 6 cups na siya. 6 cups of rice. So that's our Basta Bisaya Lami nga set. So kung balbacoa, unsa na nga influence ang balbacoa? Spanish influence. So may we have Miss Luella to also to interact regarding this. So we have the camera, please. So maybe you can have, ay nagkuan pa di, ay nag-break pa si kuan. So may we have Miss Luella to tell us about the influence of the balbacoa.
The balbacoa, I think, is a mix of Spanish and Chinese. Kay naa siya more Chinese because it has peanuts and it has black beans. Anything with black beans is influenced by the Chinese. Hasta ang imong ang pansit ana is 𝗵𝗵𝗂. 𝗵𝗵𝗂 is the Cebuano pansit. And the real Cebuano 𝗵𝗵𝗂 or the Cebuano pansit has no vegetables except mushrooms.
Okay, daghang
Yeah,
salamat
one.
to Ms.
Oo.
𝗬𝗆. So now we have the list of those. Only 6 are the brave souls. The 6 brave warriors, food warriors, tasting warriors. No one else would like to taste, only 6. Grabe sad. Abi na ko basta Bisaya isog. Dili lang lami isog sad, maong lami kay isog. So basta Bisaya isog, basta Bisaya lami. Lami kay isog. Asa mang mga isog nga Bisaya dire? Unom na lay nabilin. Wala, unom ra. O ni, wa ra ni mag-usa ka squad. Asa na mag-usa ka batalyon ni Bisaya nga ho defeated the Spaniards. Wala, walay isog diha. Hadlok mo tilaw? Grabe sa tilaw ra. You know, tilaw ra gani mahadlok. Grabe. Kisay talawan nga Cebuano. Walay talawan nga Cebuano. Oy, hadlok mo tilaw? Ha? Mas lami. We have also this event, mas lami ang single mom. We discussed about single motherhood during Mother's Day. Last year, we had this event, mas lami ang single mom. So, they said nga, wa kuno'y lami ang Cebuano na sa 3 de Abril karon kay unom ra ang lami. Unom ra ang gusto mo tilaw og lami. Kinsa ang gusto mo tilaw og lami? Who wants to taste masarap? Who wants to taste masarap? Wala. Unom lang, unom. Unom, ha? Sila ang lami. Di na sila ganahan mo tila og lami. Kay lami na sila daan. So, unsa man ni, we have also our trivia quiz with exciting prizes. Unahon na to ang trivia quiz? Or kini gyud? Kay tingalig mo isog sila. First, kuan. We have first trivia quiz lang for on-site audience. So we have trivia questions. Tulo na siya. The first is for the on-site audience. You would go to the microphone to answer. And then the second is for the online audience, those who are not here. Nga gamay na lang nabilin ang atong online audience for the second question. And for the third question is for everyone on-site and online, but you will all answer through the comment section. And you will all have prizes of the dishes at Kapihan ni Lumaya. So for this, unsay prize ani kining tilaw? The one who would only one will win. And the prize is still the Basta Bisaya Lami set. Do you want the Basta Bisaya Lami set or the bahog-bahog? Asa ba ibig ganahan ninyo? Or the soak and chill, like you chill for 5 hours at a room for hero and have an access. Basta Bisaya Lami set with soak and chill. Oh, wala pa yung maisaga. You can stay at a room for hero, a room named in honor of heroes for 5 hours, and an access to the saltwater dipping pool, the therapeutic dipping pool. I added a price because it's not here. It's just basta Bisaya Lami set ang kuan. So, duha na ang price. You can have the Basta Bisaya Lami set if you win. And you will also stay at a room for hero for 5 hours and soak. So, mura na ka og nagkuan ani, nagpadagat. Kay saltwater man ang pool, mura kag nagpadagat ani, eating balbacoa or kare-kare in the dagat. And also staying at a room named in honor of heroes. So, wala gyud gihapon way mudugang dinha mo apas. Walay apas lahog ra tanan. So we have our first question for the trivia quiz. After this, we will have the tilaw tagda. Kay napaday mo apas di ay nga mo tilaw, maisog mo tilaw og lami. Hadlok sila nga ang ilang mo tilawan way lami. Grabe said no, it's better to have loved and sana lost than not to have loved at all. It's better to have tried to taste than not to have tried at all, not to have tasted at all. Grabe na kayo na ako pep talk, ani, para ma-appeal mo. Pila din na ka-dishes, Chris? 10 dishes. 10 dishes. Kulang pag-upat. Upat, 10 dishes. Kulang upat. 10. So, 1 dish for each person man. So we have this trivia quiz, and then also this is for the on-site audience. So this is the very easy question. And you will win Food for Heroes set meal. So it's a Food for Heroes meal good for one. So you would choose, they would just choose which set in the Food for Heroes meal. You would choose for the good for one with iced tea and or drinks. And you will also have, so we would also request you for your questions if you have. So this is the question for the on-site audience. And if you want to answer, the first one to raise his or her hand would go to the microphone and give his or her name and give your answer to the question. So the question is this: name 2 herbs commonly used in Cebuano cuisine. Please go to the microphone, introduce yourself. Nay, picture dia. Wala ba ako picture? Wala akong camera lagi. Asan ako camera? So, yes.
I'm Sweetie Maurilio of Slow Food. So the 2 main herbs. Wait, so ang herbs is sangig and tangad.
Congratulations! You win a Food for Heroes meal. You can choose from all in the menu of the Food for Heroes meal. It's just good for one. So next question, I know, wala na ni. Tilaw tagna na ta. And then after that tilaw tagna, we will have the online audience. So for those online, you can just watch the Brave Souls, Brave Warriors, the Taste Food Warriors, the Andam Mutilaw. Andam na ba mo Mutilaw? Yes, andam na Mutilaw. So ready na ba ang tanan? Mutilaw? Og lami? Why siguro expectation versus reality? Oy, di mo sugot ang kapihan ng Lumaya, ana. Kay kinahanglan na ba kuno init? Basta lami, kinahanglan init. Kung di na init, kay wa na kuno lami. Unless, halo-halo na. Pero wa na, nabugnaw na ganina naman na 2 ka oras. Pero, ikuan na lang ninyo, imagine na lang, you just imagine na lang ninyo nga init na ug lami. Sige. Kinsa ang first? Unsa ni nana ni draw by lots or kuan ni? Mao na gid ni. And the first day gani sign up mo number 1. Unsa ni ang mechanics is mag-time mo. Pila sila ka minutes? Namoy timer diha. Nya you would say pila ka seconds niya na guess. Nya pila ka 1 minute kung di siya ka answer, out na siya. Tugaya ng 1 minute, oy, 30 seconds ra. 30 seconds kung dili ka guess, out, disqualified. Ako na say tawag ana, eliminated. Eliminated kung kuan. So contestant taster, our taster number 1, isog nga Mutilaw og lami. Contestant number 1 is Sheila May. So please go to the table in the middle. So please go to the table kay you will be, when you reach the table, you will be blindfolded. Pwede i-blindfold daan kay madugay taani mag-blindfold ba? Or diri ipanhin na diri, ipalinya na sila diri, ipalingkod na sila diri tanan para nga natay another blindfold para inig kahuman sa usa while ang usa gi-blindfold na daan para madali tag kahuman ani. So you will be able to taste it only with your tongue kay you will not be able to say it. So diri na siya i-blindfold, diri. Kisay first, si Sheila. So Sheila is so i-blindfold sa si Sheila. Pwede na i-blindfold sa tanan, adi. Wala kulang tag tubaw, sige. Please blindfold, i-blindfold na sa atong warrior nga si Raven. Sige. Di na nakakita. Kaginhawa pa na. Oh, kay kinahanglan na makasimhot. So this is now our so sige. Kaunsa man na kung kanus mo sugod butang sa baba ang timer. Hungitan siya. Hungitan ni mo siya. So damo ka kita labi kay mo buhungit. Kinahanglan girl gyud mo hungit sa mga laki ani. Sige. So, can you show, maybe show to the camera unsa nang gitilawan? Karon ang taga-camera ang pwede na closer please. Ha? So, inigbutang sa baba, timer starts now. So, this is now the very yummy food being given by. So, open your mouth. Timer starts now. Asa man time na to? What time music ali? 1, 2, 3, 1004, 2005. Oh, unsa may imo natilawan? Asang microphone? Tagaig mic. Oh, sige.
Kumba.
Unsa man. So, pila to ka seconds? Pwede na to i-focus ang camera on that, on it? Sige. Next ko no, wala tayong laing blindfold diya. So okay na to. Next. Next. So, mo na siya. So, actually, she guessed it right. It's humba ni Maxilum. May we show it? May we show that dish? Di pwede ibilin dito? So, ang unod yang gikuan or ang kuan. Asa naman? Next. Pwede blindfolded diretso. Ang next is Jomar. So, next, number 2 is Jomar. Number 3 is June. Number 4 is Ivan. Number 5 is Sweetie. Number 6 is Aurora. Number 7 is Vernice. And number 8 is Toy. So naisuga diha. Pwede sugaan ang atong dish kay di makitaan ang atong dish. So timer starts now.
Utan Bisaya.
Okay na. Congratulations. Pero pila ang time niya? 5 seconds. Nasakto to ang timer? Sure mo nga sakto? So, ikuha na din ang sunod. Please, pwede i-diretso na. Ayaw na i-pag-dish out. Diretso na ka mag-blindfold next. So, wala lang. Kuhaan diha, panyo. So, ang first is, pila ka seconds ang first? 26 seconds ang first. Second, walay daya to? Wala. Why tikas day? Sorry kayo. Why tikas? So our third dish, please show to the camera the third dish. Ma-show na ninyo ang third dish. I-show ko no ang third dish. So our third dish is this, and then we would have our di na sila ma-confuse, ana. So next dish, so timer starts now. Wala pa? Wala pa mo time. Sige.
Igata nga utan.
Ansa to?
Igata nga utan.
Gigata nga utan. Pila ka seconds? Nadugay day? 22 seconds. Dugay kaayo nakatingog. Dugay kay nakatingog sa kalabi. So, dugay nakatingog. Number 4 is Ivan. So, we have nakalimot siya sa ngalan sa lami. Nganong malimtan nimo ang ngalan sa lami? Tungod sa kalami, nalimtan niya ang ngalan. Makalimot ka sa imong ngalan tungod sa kalami. Di ba mo na ilaing imagery? Tungod sa kalami, malimtan nimo imong ngalan. Tungod sa kalami. Timer starts now. Show it to the... Sige.
Benignit.
Sakto? Pila ka seconds? 6 seconds. Kisay pa'y kinadalian ato. Si Jomar, alak, grabiha, paspas sa kayo, makasultig lami si Kuanoy. Si Jomar, 5 seconds to. Silig, luto, og mukaon, og lami. So next, number 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. So, number 5 is this Sweetie? Si Sweetie ni? Nausab. Number 5 is Sweetie. Number 5 is Sweetie. Number 6 is siya na lang. So, the number 5 is Vernice. Sige. So, kalimot sa kalami. Basta lami, makalimot ka. Ayaw sag-surrender. Ayaw sag-surrender. Pila, pagkay 30 seconds? 30 seconds na?
Ano siya?
Unsa ingredients? Time's up. Unsa man?
Nalagi?
Ha? Unsa da? Kinilaw nga puso sa saging. Di ka ganahan og kinilaw. So wala siya kasulay ani. Was it your first time to taste the kinilaw nga puso sa saging? So it's the first time. So at least what did you taste kuno si Vernice? It's the first time to taste the kinilaw nga puso sa saging. Unsa imong natilawan? Unsay natilawan nimo Vernice? Aslom kay naay suka. Tik aslom na to ko ayo ha. So kini karon, so we have our contestant number 6, Sweetie. So unsa man na? Sayon na ana oy. Sayon kayo. Sayon na oy.
Biko.
Basta expert og lami. Naa pa lang sa tip sa tank. Sulti na dirtsyo day kasulti kung unsay ngalan sa lami. Expert kay nig lami si Sweetie, kay sweet good siya. So Biko, pila to ka seconds? 2 seconds, grabe. Kinsay mo kuan ani, kinsay makapildi who can defeat the 2 seconds nga. 2 seconds only. So our next is contestant number 7 ani, Aurora. Is this Aurora? So this is Aurora. I-show ko no, ipaduol ko no sa dish ang kuan, ang food. So this is the dish. Sige. So kuan na siya. Kalisod ana nga dish.
Balbacoa?
Balbacoa. Correct. Dili? Di pa? Di na? Wala na, humana. Di na siya no? Or pwede pa? Oh, pwede pa. Napay time, 30 seconds. Saan yung top 3? Ang top 3 kay salt water Wala yun? Wala? Isa to? Kare-kare dito. Not balbako. Hapit ra silingan. Oh. Ang meat ra, wala kat katilaw sa gravy. Ipapil ko no gravy og tilaw. Ayaw lang ang meat. So that's Aurora. And our last but not the least contestant. So is this Troy? From which, are you from a school? Blindfold na bahalag matubag na ko. So we have, do we have the dish? Can you show the dish? So we have Troy, the last but not the least, warrior for the taste to beat the 2 seconds record of Sweetie for Biko. Kasayon sa ato Biko, no? So we have the tilaw tagna. Di ba ipatiwas dato nila ang food nga ilang gitilaw? Ang ilang dish ba, di ba daduna ninyo sa inyong kuan ang inyong gitilawan? Kuha ninyo inyong dish, tiwasan ninyo kaon. Ang biko, tiwasan ninyo. So this is now the last dish. So, mauna siya. Abot sa bata.
Inununan.
Paspa. Correct. Dili.
Okay, so, kinilaw.
Congratulations! Kinilaw nga isda. Naglibog kung inununan ba or kinilaw. Kay dugay na kay isda naluto na sa suka. Nahimo nag inununan ang kinilaw. Tingali, correct na to. Dugay, 3 hours, gikan pag alas 2, nahimo nang inununan ng kinilaw. Pila ka seconds, pagsulti niya ginununan. Naun-un na sa suka. Pila ka seconds. Kay ato ni sila, ha? Katong pag-inon niya ginununan? 8 seconds na ito. Pas lagi kayo ito. Kuan na to? 1 second! Alam, ingon siya inununan. Tilawon ko na nato, bitigaling inununan. Pero wag ito giunon. Mailhan yun di mo no. Kang raw nga fish kaysa naluto sa suka ang raw nga fish kaysa naunon siya. Pero mo to siya atong feedback to Kapihan ni Lumaya Kusina. Ang kinilaw nahimong inununan, ang imong kare-kare nahimong balbacoa. So asa naman si Chef Mark? So now we have Sheila had 26 seconds to guess. Pwede na ipatiwas og kaon niya iyang humba. So and then we have Jomar 5 seconds. Hapit good for unsa tay man gitilawan Jomar? Out the paspas kayo sige ni kaog utan Bisaya. Utan Bisaya 5 seconds. So actually siya ang second. And then June got 22 seconds sa pagtilaw sa unsa tay gitilawan nimo June? Ha? Tinunuan nga utan. Tinunuan nga utan 22 seconds si June. And Ivan, unsa tay gitilawan nimo Ivan? Binignit paspasad ni 6 seconds. Sikat third placer di siya. Ipatiwas na yan, binignit. Binignit ka di na init. Binignit sa tiyan manggunit kung init pa. Yeah, sunod ang next is Vernie for unsa to yang gitilawan? Vernie, ha? Katong number 5. Unsa to gitilawan niyo? Puso sa saging first time to taste the kinilaw nga puso sa saging. Congratulations. You tasted the Bisaya, the Cebuano dish, puso sa saging for the first time. So we have Sweetie, 2 seconds. Congratulations, the grand winner of the Tilaw Tagda contest. Maayo mitilaw, the Tilaw warrior. Ikaw, Gavin, mutilaw ka? Napay ipatilaw nato kang Gavin? Ha? Ansa na? Ato na ipatilaw? Sige, kanang atong i-blindfold, please blindfold our heritage advocate. Ay ipari sa na diri sa kuan usa i-blindfold, ipani sa diri. Ipari siya diri. So, tingalig mabit nimo ang 2 seconds. Gibite pieces na. Gibite piece with gravy ha. So, Gavin, if you tagaan kag chance kay kuan kanang guest man ka nga contestant, we will see kay gyud tay winner. But then tingalig pero bisag mabit nimo siya, madaog gyapon ni siya pero tagaan kag prize. Kung mabit nimo ang 2 seconds sa atong grand winner, you taste the dish and you guess what is the dish. The fastest will win. Actually, we have a 2-seconder grand winner. She guessed, natagna niya ang dish in just 2 seconds. May siya mukaon og biko. Sige siya kaon og biko. Biko Queen. Sweetie is Biko Queen. Asa naman tong dish na to? So, we have this We have this dish that we want you to taste.
Okay. Hungitan ko no.
Kana, bite piece na. Sayon ra. So natay judge si Miss Luella wants to judge to witness na picture diha. Picture di si Gavin. Picture si Gavin na mo picture diha ni Gavin. So
The beautiful.
i-appeal ang gravy kuno ha. Kutsara na lang tingali kay aron nga kuan. Kutsara ang gamiton na kutsara diha. Walay kuan so timer ha. Ladakua sa piece oy na knife diha. Ipadol ang microphone. Makadaog pero duha na dayon kung ma-beat niya. Winner nagdaan si Sweetie Pie. Si Sweetie Biko Queen. So,
Kumukaon ra biya ko di ko kaila.
Okay.
Sisig.
30 seconds pa man ay ka ma-eliminate.
Palami pero di ko kaila.
First guess niya kay sisig. Ano ingon siya lami baya pero di ko ka-guess. Lami ka di ka kaila. Kasulay na ka nga gilamian ka pero wa ka kaila. Wa lami pero wa kaila. Did you experiencing a tasting lami masarap but you didn't know? Wala na, mana? 30 seconds. Time's up. So, so ihatag na kang Gavin, ipatiwas na ni Gavin, aron mailhan gud niya. Unsa na? Balbacoa. Naikantaan na si Max Urban or Yoy Villame? Unsa ganina Balbacoa? Gahi, humok. Gahi. Og sa patiil, dunggan ug panin sa baka. So si Lami si Tilaw Queen kay also knows this song doon na nimo. Kanon na lay kulang. So picture ko lo, na picture na. So our sunod we will also would like you to know that so Sweetie was 2 seconds, unbeatable kanang undefeated. Wala ma-defeat yang 2-second record. Biko Tilaw Queen. So si Sweetie. So Aurora had 30 seconds. Wa siya kaila sa unsa to? Sa kare-kare. Ang ingon siya Balbacoa. Nabali di ay kay ang kare-kare kay Balbacoa. And then of course Troy is 4th placer. Si Troy 8 seconds kay paspas kay siya 1 second lang inununan diretso ang isda. Pero wa day pa siya agiya kay luto ra iyang natilawan, wa pa siya katilaw og hilaw. So ang hilaw nga kinilaw naluto na sa dila ni Troy, nahimong inununan ang kinilaw sa iyang dila. So 8 seconds ang inununan ang kinilaw ni Troy. So congratulations to those warriors. Unsa may inyo? Actually ang inyong prize is ang katong tanan nga dish nga gi-show diri ta mga on Chris. Kay aron di na nag-set up pa dito. Diri na lang kay daghan kay sila. Butang na lang diri ang food. So after the event, we will all have a chance to taste the dishes because naan pa mo diri nagpabilin. Ang pero first come first serve kung kisay makauna. So we will have our trivia quiz with Excite. So of course, si Sweetie won for herself a soak and chill for 5 hours at a room for hero with Basta Bisaya Lami set. So good for 2 to 3. Congratulations for being the Biko Queen, the Tilaw Queen. Tilaw Tagna Queen. maayo kay siya mutilaw og lami. Ug makatagna din siya, di siya kalimot sa ngalan sa lami. Mao ni siya, ang uban makatilaw og lami, makalimot naman dayon sa ngalan. Siya nakatilaw og lami, hinumduman gyud gyapon. Paspas kay dila musulti. Paspas mo tilaw, paspas musulti sad. Maayo kay nigdila, dadila queen na sad ni. CebuanoTasteBuds Queen. Mo ni exploring the CebuanoTasteBuds. Mo gyud paspas kayo ang CebuanoTasteBuds. Next. Okay na mo diya? Ready na mo mukaon sa tanang giserve diri ganina. So actually, we would also like to show you before we would give the question for the online audience, gagamay na lang. So to those online but not here, pero kung way maka-answer online, appeal na mo ani. So we have this book by 𝗍𝗵𝗆𝗃, also an author of Filipino cuisine. He writes he describes the Filipino food, Filipino dishes, very poetically. So he traveled to Mindanao, and he wrote everything that he witnessed, the food that he tasted, and all his experiences, especially the food in Mindanao, in different parts of Mindanao. This is Biyaheng Pinoy by 𝗍𝗵𝗆𝗃. So actually, when his wife 𝗳𝗄𝗧 Dorado Alegre was our resource person also a year ago, or more than a year ago, 2 years ago, she was actually describing the food according to how her also 𝗍𝗵𝗆𝗃 described it. And so it's so beautiful, it's so yummy or pleasurable. So you would really taste the kalami when you read how he describes the food. So this is Biyaheng Pinoy. So in different parts of Mindanao, even the Iranon and other parts in Mindanao. So our second question. Happy ta mahuman. So trivia quiz with exciting prizes. Dahil mangaon na dayon ta sa lami. Kung init na to, giinit naman to ang food nga gi-serve dire. So we have our second question. So trivia quiz with utan Bisaya ang prize. Di mo ganahan ani. Pwede ra tunduan. Pwede po pulihan og other vegetable dish. Pero mga tag-utan Bisaya, it's very healthy. So this is the second question, and the judge would be our culinary resource persons. So napaba mo closing remarks unya ha, closing words. So so our second question is this. Name the most common spice used in Cebuano dishes. We said it is almost in all, and we use it to remove the 𝗟𝗪𝗃. So this is for those online. So online ni siya, pero kung walay maka-answer online, kamo na lang mo answer online adto mo sa Facebook live event sa Pamgras. So we have wala gyud ni action and uy namay ni answer. Hoy, gi-cheer ka, Gavin. Asa man si Gavin? Nagkaon na by himself sa 𝗍𝗆𝗃. Grabe ni si Gavin, nag-una-una nagkaon sa 𝗍𝗆𝗃. So, giurot na niya yung 𝗍𝗆𝗃. Nitago na siya to eat the lami nga 𝗍𝗆𝗃. So, si Ellen said, go, Sir Gavin. Go, Gavin, wherever you are eating the 𝗍𝗆𝗃. Go, go. So, we have the first to answer, paspas og kamot, si June Demir 𝗠𝗟𝗃. Congratulations, 𝗠𝗟𝗃 or ginger is the most common spice used in Cebuano dishes as mentioned by our food historian. The third question. Ay na, nahurot na ko. Sige, cheer sa inyo. Third question. Di na gyud tingali mo answer si Kuan ani si Sweetie kay ang price ani kay basta Bisaya lami set magyapon duha na iya kung maka-answer kasi i-disqualify na lang nato siya Kay give chance to others. Kay tingalig siya, gapoy maka-answer. Di lang, sport lang mo. Okay ra gyapon mo, appeal siya ani. So, you all answer, ana mo yung wifi diya. So, you all answer through the comment section. So, tingalig ko kanang asa man, wala dili disqualified si Sweetie. Biko Queen, Tilaw Tagna Queen, Dila Queen, CebuanoTasteBuds Queen. Saman, di ni nato i-disqualify. Ipapil gyapon siya nato sa contest sa number 3. Kung makadaog siya, 2 sets na. Good for 6 na. Wala, party na ka. So, kaya, i-appeal na to siya. I-appeal na to. Prove yourselves na lang nga you are worthy to win this Basta Bisaya Lami set. Kay si Gavin wa na. Ang balbacoa, nitago di siya kay yan ang gikaon ng balbacoa. So, the third question is this. So, you answer through the comment section of the Facebook Live event. So, the question is this. Lisod kayo, di ba? Enumeration man Enumeration Pero pwede rin sad ni usa ka word. Pwede sad 3 words. Grabe, daghana kay kong clue. Kabaw gyud mo ani. So, name 3 methods of cooking in pre-colonial Cebu. Name 3 methods. You can say it in 1 word or you can have 3 words for it. 3 words or 1 word. What are, name, enumerate. Pero grabe mo kung exam ni Chef Richard, ani sa iyang klase, enumerate the 3. Pero di mo na sila ganahan og enumeration, ganahan mo sila why, how, ang mga teachers. kay quiz man ta. So, mao na, nga kinahanglan specific answer. So, di man nato ma-grade og kuan. Napay nag-una ni, nag-una, binuang pa ni si Sweetie. Disqualify nato ni Sweetie, oy. Ha? Queen, give chance to others. Tulog, 3 words, good. Paspas pagdila, paspas mo ka tilaw, paspas mo sulti, paspas pud mo kablit sa mutuplok, paspas mo tuplok og keypad sa phone. So, mo na ni abtik paskilat ni siya. Mo gid ato himuong model sa abtik paskilat. So, sa man give chance to others. Give chance na lang. So, we have the kind heart and generous heart of the sweet Biko Queen and Tilaw Queen. So, kinsa may next? Kinsa next naka-answer? Jomar. Congratulations to Jomar for having the next most abtik paskilat fingers to answer. Siya, one more lagi. Sila rang duha ni answer? Anapa day uban? Sugba, tula, kilaw. Si Aurora, saute, frying, and deep frying. Kwani siya. Spanish time method ni saute, frying, and deep frying. So, Spanish period. Wala mahinumdumi nga pre-colonial dayto. Colonial Cebu yung nadunggan. So, si June, hapit sad, naka-answer sa si June. Sinugba, tuwa, kilaw. Asa may mong favorite aning sinugba, tuwa, o kilaw, June? Ha? Kilaw? Kilaw gid ang ganahan. So tukil. Si Ellen online also knows. Congratulations to Ellen, pero nauhay ra ka ni Sweet og ni Jomar. So mao na siya no. So we would like to have our resource persons. We would like to invite you once again to our hybrid event, our coffee talk on March 7 with Visayas Culture administrator of this page, Canada-based, Cebuano, Canadian, and also Native American Sobi Wing, who will be with us on March 7th to have a coffee talk with us to explore Cebuano, and he would tell us about why he wants Cebuano culture, it's Visayan culture to be promoted and to explore the Cebuano culture. He would be with his Sister Michelle. They are from the 𝗘𝗅𝗺 Filipino Indigenous Arts Collective from Vancouver, Canada. Join us online or on site in this event. It's a coffee talk with 𝗳𝗏𝗃. And also on March 11, update si Dr. Jobbers ani. So there would be a book launch of the book by Dr. Jobbers 𝗂𝗀𝗃, co-authored by Japanese 𝗧𝗄𝗃 Okada, and this would be the book published by the sister company of Pamgas sa Cebu Heritage Hotel, 𝗬𝗏𝗃 Incorporated. So 𝗬𝗏𝗃 Incorporated also publishes books, produces films and videos and songs, and also the theater, the play 𝗵𝗃𝗃 or the 𝗬𝗏𝗃 is also one of the producers of that. And we are proud to launch this book by Dr. Jobbers and Japanese 𝗧𝗃 Okada on the Japanese community in Cebu, 1900 to 1945. And this would be on March 11. So stay tuned for the time. Limited di siya. So kinahanglan na sila mo, you need to register because actually limited ang audience, no? Only pila, 30 persons, 50, magpa-register na mo daan. so for online, walay limit. For on-site, limit di siya. Nice snacks. Dayon. So we also have tonight tonight we have the Lafang at 7 p.m. We will have live acoustics with Xiao Garcia. We will have another game for contest for another Tilaw Tagna. Disqualified na si Sweet Ani. And there also pati other contest. Kana lang. Tilaw Tagna lang. And then, of course, Ano sa nga contest? Pizza eating contest. There will be a day 𝗵𝗆𝗃 Culinary sweet. Kaya dili siya disqualified. Pizza eating contest. Ano sa ni? Humba pizza? Queso pizza? Nindo to humba. Ay, kay kuan man. Kinahanglan o kuan. Kanang inclusive. Katong non-eating, no pork kuan. So naay pizza eating contest tonight. And then there is also a Tilaw Tagna contest again. Naay challenger si kuan. Adi na siya mo appeal niya. Kaya siya na yung makadaog. Tagala to, og lisod kay nga dish pa. Katong tanan dishes dito ba? Ipatilaw na to. Butangan na to. Pila record time per dish. And then so we have also our, Jammer of the Night contest tonight at Kapihan ni Lumaya. We usually have our live acoustics at Hardin Dagami, but tonight, because it is the 𝗵7 tuig of Kapihan ni Lumaya, we have a live acoustics. So of course, on April 3, join us in the celebration of the 60th of the anniversary of the 𝗃𝗏𝗃, because it is the 125th na sa Battle of 𝗃𝗏𝗃. So on April 3, we will have a celebration of the 1898 minus 2023. 125 years of the Battle of 𝗃𝗏𝗃, and this hall is named in honor of the Battle of 𝗃𝗏𝗃. You will see the signage at the outside. So mao ni mag-question sa what is the Battle of di ka-answer ana kay lisod kay ito bagon. So on April 3 we will have and then we will be knowing about the other heroes aside from Leon Kilat. We would know the mga gwapo and gwapa nga heroes of 𝗃𝗏𝗃, like the women in the revolution. We will know about Bonifacio Aranas, Alejo Mendoza, from Dr. Erlinda Alburo, and we are still also getting someone, a relative of Bonifacio Aranas, to join us. Stay tuned for, maybe we'll have a costume play contest on that day. So now we will have the closing words from our resource persons. First, um, we will have Chef Richard Howe, our award-winning chef. Unahon na lang din nato si Miss Luella kay ang camera na ana sa iya. So food historian Miss Luella Eslao Alex for her closing words for this event.
Parting words. I'm very glad I was invited to this panel discussion this afternoon. And I hope there will be more of this kind of interaction to promote local cuisine. I'm very glad that there is now a rising interest in Cebuano cuisine. And this bodes well for all of us. Not just for tourism, but for us Cebuanos. Thank you.
Daghang salamat, and it's really a pleasure that you are with us this afternoon. Thank you for sharing your knowledge about the history of food. So next, we would like to have the closing words from our award-winning chef from the Department of Tourism and Hospitality of the University of San Carlos, Chef Richard. Ay, sorry. Wala na nakuha na ako, nagunawna na ako sa food niya kung kanon after this. From the University of San Jose Recoletos.
To promote Cebuano cuisine and culinary experience is also to anchor it in the LGU or the Provincial Tourism Office drive to really create a holistic program for culinary, and one of that is the ongoing Suri-Suri sa Sugbo, where you'll be encountering the hinterlands of Cebu province and get acquainted with food, or refresh your memories with food from your childhood. And the good thing about Suri-Suri sa Sugbo is that it's a collective effort by the townsfolk, the ordinary people that used to prepare our food when we were young. Our neighbors, our relatives, and the likes. So I think that's one way of me honoring Cebuano food. Thank you very much, and it's quite an honor once again to be invited together with the great Madam Luella Alex.
Dahil salamat, Chef Richard, and as said by our previous viewers, we are waiting for your vlog, and also we are waiting for your book on Visayan cuisine. So daghang salamat to everyone for experiencing a lami afternoon, Imal kaayo afternoon with us, and we will have an extension of the Imal afternoon after this event for those on site. Congratulations for being, and thank you for being here. So your reward is the tilawon ang Imal kaayo na dishes of Kapihan ni Lumaya. So we thank our partners, the USC Center for Social Research and Education, FLAG, Museo Sugbo, Central Visayas Association of Museum, Diandi Heritage Center, SOAN 2020. And we would also, are the videos available? So we would like to show you 2 more videos. So as we end, we would like to show you 2 more videos of our drinks at Kapihan ni Lumaya, Pangpapresko ni Dagami, and Kapi Mais Frap. Daghang salamat ug malipayong pagsaulog sa ika-7 ka tuig sa Kapihan ni Lumaya.
Maayong adlaw! I am Chef 𝗲𝗄𝗯, and I will be showing you how to make our local and Cebuano dishes. Our dishes are named after Cebuano heroes.
This is really healthy food. It's organic.
Mayong adlaw, I am Jeff, bartender. I would like to show you how to make Cebuano local drinks.
Sakto because you can drink it continuously because it's not that sweet, but it's tasty enough to be drank by a person.